The luck of the Irish may be with someone tonight, but it'll take more than 4-leaf clovers and a pot of gold to claim victory in this battle. The Rock Lobsters are hoping to stay top-notch in their hunt for the top spot in the Continental Division, while the Bobcats are hoping to chase their own fortune in the playoff race. Two teams, one goal. Who will have the luck and the skill to come out on top this St. Patrick's Day game? Good evening, Crustacean Nation, and welcome to the Lobster Tank, Akins Ford Arena, where the Blue Ridge Bobcats take on your Athens Rock Lobsters in a St. Patty's Day showdown. I'm Matt Rad, bringing you all the action live on the Athens Rock Lobster Network, whether you're tuning in on YouTube or 98.7 FM, AM 1340, WGAU. If you're watching online, be sure to hit subscribe, like the stream, and ring the bell so you never miss a moment of Rock Lobsters hockey. Tonight, the Piedmont Athens Regional Pregame Show sets the stage for an intense matchup between two teams coming off of big wins. At the same time, Athens looking to exact revenge after the last time these two teams met. Athens is starting to get back on a lobster roll after last night in Baton Rouge, clinching a 3-1 win over the Zydeco. It was another stellar night for Orca Weisblatt, who scored twice, including a slick finish off of a no-look pass from Garrett Milan. Malik Johnson put the game out of reach early in the third, while Josh Rosenzweig stopped 35 shots to secure the win. Blue Ridge, meanwhile, put on a dominant display, crushing HC Venom 6-1 behind a complete team effort. Rookie goalie Anthony Schrum shined in his pro debut, while Carson Andrioli recorded a goal and 2 assists. The Bobcats tightened up defensively, and now they'll try to bring that same intensity down south against a Rock Lobsters team that's had their number this season. Now let's highlight our Fan Saves Impact Player of the Game, or as we'll call him tonight, a lad with a golden touch for Blue Ridge. It's Carson Andrioli, who was everywhere in their last game, notching a goal and 2 assists. If the Bobcats want to play spoiler, he'll need to bring his A game once again. For Athens, it's Orca Weisblatt, who is riding a hot streak after a 2-goal night in Baton Rouge. Whether he's setting up teammates or finding twine himself, Weisblatt has been a force to be reckoned with ever since really he returned from his injury that was suffered early on in the season in Monroe. The FanSaves Impact Player segment is brought to you by FanSaves. Download the FanSaves app now and follow the Athens Rock Lobsters for exclusive digital coupons. Now let's take a look at tonight's Akins Ford engine starters. In goal, getting the start tonight, is William Lavalier. On defense, the pairing of Carter Shinkarik and Adam Oja as the Swede makes his Akins Ford Arena debut. A forward line, the money line, who shined like gold last night, Orca Weisblatt, Daniil Glukaryov, and Garrett Milan. Someone who won't be getting the start tonight but is looking good out on the ice is the new mascot of the Athens Rock Lobsters, Claudius, looking good in that cutoff denim vest. The team physician provided by Piedmont Athens Regional is Dr. Alec Graff. The Athens Rock Lobsters starting lineup is brought to you by Akins Ford. If you're making a deal on a new Ford truck, why not deal with Georgia's biggest and best Ford dealership? That just about wraps up our Piedmont Athens Regional pregame show. Piedmont, real change lives here. So, will Athens strike gold with another win, or will Blue Ridge steal their luck and play spoiler? Puck drop is just moments away. Stick with us here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon your toilet will clog again.
What if it won't flush?
We'll always repair it.
Nobody puts baby in a flooded corner.
Maybe I should still fix it.
You had me at hello. We've got same-day service.
Plumbing completes me.
Honey, the sink is overflowing!
Okay, I'll call a plumber.
Need a plumber? Need a pro? When you need a plumber, call a pro. Plumber Pro.
When you're the leader, disaster cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen? Fire it up, Randy! By being prepared for anything! Whatever comes your way, there's a pro for that.
Serve Pro. Like it never even happened.
Just hang on. Perfect.
UGA football player Amarius Mims suffered a serious injury. The quality care from the Piedmont team changed his life.
As a football player, my body is everything to me. When I got injured, I was worried about my
future in the game, but you and your team's expertise, care, and support reassured me from the start. I've been able to recover because of the quality care I received at Piedmont, and I am back playing at my full potential on the field. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, my family, and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dreams alive. How you doing?
Well, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you. So happy for you. It gives me joy to see you out there on the field doing your thing. You look good.
Appreciate you.
It's a good-looking ankle.
I'm trying to tell you.
When you're the Athens Rock Lobsters' biggest enforcer, life can get pretty messy. That's when Justin Portillo calls Crawford Laundry. Justin Portillo only trusts Crawford Laundry to get his toughest game day stains out in plenty of time for the next one.
Since we opened in 1968, we've taken pride in our professional staff. Unparalleled customer service is our legacy. Experience the best, skilled hands and friendly faces. At Stanfield Air Systems, satisfaction is not just a guarantee, it's our tradition. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
It's a historic season for all the hockey fans in Athens, and how can you celebrate without beer? The Athens Rock Lobster Clawshank Redemption is available exclusively at Terrapin Tap Room. Terrapin, do the right thing, always. Classic City Flats is a brand new apartment community in Athens, Georgia that redefines luxury living, offering a sleek and contemporary living experience. Our impeccably designed apartment homes boast sophisticated interiors, premium amenities, and exquisite finishes, providing residents with an unparalleled downtown living experience. Classic City Flats is excited to deliver luxury apartments that set the new standard of sophisticated living in Athens, Georgia. Classic City Flats, redefining your horizon of living. Farm Burger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard. Grass-fed and grass-finished, that means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission, and our mission is to feed you.
Every business owner who's built a business wonders about their company's legacy. What's the path forward after they decide to take a step back? At the heart of every succession plan is a vision that safeguards hard-earned success. This isn't just paperwork. It's your roadmap, guiding a business during a change in ownership and detailing how ownership transitions and key financial decisions unfold. This instills a profound sense of pride belonging, innovation, and commitment, ensuring a stable future for the company and a rewarding exit for you. Let's forge that path together.
Back here at Akins Ford Arena, 40 seconds until the horn sounds on a special St. Patty's Day game here in Akins Ford Arena. And also a special return for someone who's out on the other team, Brandon Reller, who's already stolen the hearts of Bobcat fans. He makes his return against the Athens Rock Lobsters after being traded to the Blue Ridge Bobcats organization. A special little member of the team right there, exchanging pleasantries with Orca Weisblatt and Carter Shinkarik. Hey, the team could use another high-scoring forward. Maybe she can add a little bit to that profile. Special national anthem today being sung by the UGA Noteworthy a cappella group. Beautiful rendition from the UGA Noteworthy a cappella group. A special puck drop tonight, and probably a fitting one for St. Patrick's Day. Tonight's game sponsor is Northside Bottle Shop, and dropping the ceremonial puck will be Tyler Breedlove. As we say goodbye there to our special member of the team there. Taking a look over at the starters, and you see Brandon Reller out on the ice, but Matthew Ernst will be taking the ceremonial puck drop along with the Rock Lobster captain, Carter Shinkarik. There it is, and a couple handshakes there. Shinkarik and Ernst with Tyler Breedlove. And that means that action is coming up next. A big thank you to Steven Self and Steven Turner for making our special St. Patrick's Day score bug happen. Excited to put it to use here and hopefully in use toward a Rock Lobster win. A little reminder on the starters at hand. William Lavalier back in between the sticks for the Rock Lobsters, coming off a 22-save performance on 23 shots in the 4-1 win Friday versus Baton Rouge. He logged his 10th win of the season. Defensemen Carter Shinkarik and Adam Oja, the latter making his first start in Akins Ford Arena. And then Daniil Glukaryov, Garrett Milan, and Orca Weisblatt, a trio that thoroughly impressed last night in Baton Rouge. Apologies, already seeing some shakiness from our cameras here. A long time off, and we're seeing a shot. Blue Ridge, not a long time off for them, just like the Rock Lobsters coming from their home ice last night on the road, and a quick shot from them for the left side, and Lavalier gets tested early. Good entry here from Daniil Glukaryov. Tries a shot from the high slot. Caught like a fly ball, and catching the pop there is Gregory Hussey, who gets the start tonight. Hussey in a performance back in Blue Ridge against the Rock Lobsters was able to be the first goaltender that shut out the Athens Rock Lobsters this year. Looks like Reller getting lined up to take the draw here against Milan. around the end boards here from Blue Ridge, trying to play out their own zone. A little bit of a loose touch there from Nicholas McHugh, but Blue Ridge have it out of their zone as Weisblatt lays a big hit there on Vlasov, and the offside is called there against the Bobcats. Already 2 stoppages in this one. We're not yet through a minute of play. We're going to pause briefly for station identification. WGAU and W254CJ Athens, 98.7 FM and AM 1340 WGAU. Virgili loses out on the draw there to Michael Mercurio, who is a newer member of this Bobcat team. Pass intercepted there by Gallant, who kicks it towards Malik Johnson. He loses an edge, and it's sent back in by Blue Ridge. Bounces off the corner. Handled there by Kyle Powell, sent up the left side. Malik Johnson trying to get a touch to it. Rock Lobsters get it out of the zone, but possession still with Blue Ridge. Clean entry on the right side. Jakob Wolf trying to get a shot off. Went to the backhand. Centering pass. Rock Lobsters still not able to keep it in. High slot shot. Good save from Lavalier. And then it's batted away by the Rock Lobsters, and that will go down as an icing. The Bobcats getting the better of the Rock Lobsters through the first minute and a half. A reminder of something that might play a part in this game. The Rock Lobsters having come off a brutal night of travel, playing against Baton Rouge last night, making the long 10-hour trek on the bus back home, and then having to play another game Sunday evening. Apologies for the camera angle here. Not exactly sure what's going on, and now we're back. Malik Johnson lets it run. Kaysen Gallant has a little bit of a rocket in those skates, and that one almost clears the netting after it was deflected off the stick from Radchenko. Kaysen Gallant trying to find his shooting and scoring touch early on. Very start-stop period so far as Avery Smith lines up for the draw against Austin Belfay. Shot comes in from the line, well left. Big hit there on the near boards. Good stop at the line. The man who was recently signed on the college contract, Zach Pepapetros, who played a very, very good, comfortable, confident game last night against the Zydeco. Let's see if he can follow up that effort tonight. Garcia getting heckled off the end boards, but Garcia also coming off a tremendous game himself. He got in on the offense a lot last night. He does so here, sending the dump in. It bounces back into the neutral zone. Glukarioff eases it over to the Swede, Adam Ozia. A little bit of a European Union there. Glukarioff picks it back up, looking for a centering pass from the left circle, evades Garrett Milan. Poked back in by Shinkarik, picked up by Glukarioff. It gets taken off of him by Nicholas McHugh. Glukarioff trying to throw across, and then he gets the puck back and finds Milan on the left side. Milan looking for a shot, catches Hussey up high, still loose out in front. Glukarioff able to sweep it through to the 34-year-old goaltender, but nothing doing there as time will freeze at 17:11 to go. First shot on goal for the Rock Lobsters in this one, and it comes almost 3 minutes into the contest. Athens is going to hope that they have a solution to the play of Gregory Hussey, having remembered that they have both lost to him via the shootout and defeated him the next night after that. But that was a much closer game. It was a 5-3 contest that second night in Blue Ridge. Glukarioff, the beneficiary of the face-off win from Milan, sending the shot right into the mitt of Hussey is Adam Ozia. Ozia looking for a memorable start to his home account here as an Athens Rock Lobster. Reller tying up with Milan, but Milan gets the better of him. Ozia taking it over the goal line into the near corner. Milan gets the puck bounced right back to him. Beautiful pass towards the slot. Shinkarik may have overcommitted, though, and Nicholas McHugh showing off his speed. Centering pass right back to McHugh. A little give and go, but Lavalier makes the save on the shot from McHugh. Ozia taking it away. McHugh's got it right back in the far corner. Bounces it to himself around the end boards. Picked back up by Danny Dangles. Glukarioff to Weisblatt. Good stick handling for him to try and get that puck out, but he's unable to find the pass to Milan. But he lays the check to free that puck back up. Kicked by Glukarioff to Milan. Milan gets the slight push from Reller, and now the Zydeco pushing the puck the other way. Mercurio whistles it in. Pass Glukarioff, picked back up by Weisblatt. Takes the hit there from Stuckless. Weisblatt couldn't get around a Bobcat. Blue Ridge bearing in on the net. Forehand backhand, Lavalier, what a save! Lavalier with a tremendous stop right in the danger zone to keep Blue Ridge out from bulging the net. But Bobcats coming right in, much easier save to make on Godmere for Lavalier. Shots on goal currently in favor of the Bobcats. 5-2 now. Bobcats skating hard in the early going of this one. That's something that they did in that 3-game set, that home and home that we saw earlier on this season. And the Bobcats were able to take 2 out of the 3 games against Athens, including one here in Akins Ford Arena. Gallant over to Johnson, who tries to cast a spell on that one. Rock Lobsters looking to find a pot of gold at this end of the rainbow on a good shift to the start. Casey Gallant misses the top shelf. Spills back over to Virgili, who had the great centering pass towards Malik Johnson, took a bobble, and then eventually reached Gallant, who missed high. Johnson spills one back in behind, Virgili taking a tumble. Belfay over the other way. Powell over to the right for Garcia. Takes a shoulder toward his own bench, a long-range pass. Austin Belfay had no option but to send it in as he felt the pressure from Malik Johnson. Avery Smith tried to go backhand there on McHugh, but the Bobcats have it back. A good flow of play thus far, but Reller gets it poked away from him by Picard. Russell doesn't win the foot race, otherwise he would have been having a clear opportunity on Hussey's net. Lavalier into the trapezoid to play it, actually lets it run. Garcia off the skate of Picard. Blocked and then popped up there on Papa Petros, who slapped it out of midair. Russell with the forecheck trying to chase that biscuit down. It's mishandled by McHugh, but there to sweep it up was Patrick Colgan. Reller gets it past Oja, looking to score against his former team, but misses to the right. Stopped at the line by Slagers. Oja with a check into the corner on Vlasov. Papa Petros down to a knee. Backhand sweep away. Slagers lets it get away from him in a positive direction for the Bobcats. Awkward bounce off the end boards. Took a bounce off the side netting, picked back up by Papa Petros, who's jousting with it in behind. Lost his stick and has to kick it away like a soccer ball. Milan showing the speed, connecting with Oja. Watching that shot into his glove the whole way is Hussey, and we go to our first commercial break. A very good start for the Bobcats. The Rock Lobsters still trying to find their feet after that long bus ride. Let's see what happens after this commercial break.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon your toilet will clog again.
What if it won't flush?
We'll always repair it.
Nobody puts baby in a flooded corner.
Maybe I should still fix it.
You had me at hello. We've got same-day service.
Plumbing completes me.
Honey, the sink is overflowing!
Okay, I'll call a plumber.
Need a plumber? Need a pro? When you need a plumber, call a pro. Plumber Pro.
There's a cute little crustacean soaking in the activities here today on our St. Patrick's Day celebration here at Akins Ford Arena. But right now, it has been the Blue Ridge Bobcats that seem to have had the more golden opportunities in this contest thus far, but the scoreline remains at 0-0. Both teams making their way back out onto the ice, and the money line about to take the offensive draw. Milan, Weisblatt, and Glukaryov. Those three connecting on the first two Orca Weisblatt goals last night. Very beneficial towards the Rock Lobsters winning that game 3-1, and Weisblatt was almost gifted a clear-cut opportunity to make it 3 goals in 2 games. Milan takes a shove in the shoulder from Radchenko. The Belarusian and Milan getting tied up with each other. Stuckless trying to stick it out, but taken back by Weisblatt. Trying to get it to the Magic Man, but maybe forcing the issue, and then sent back in by Radchenko. It's right at Lavalier, who makes the stop into the glove. Rock Lobsters now have quickly evened the shot on goal tally 5-5, but I believe with that effort it'll be moving to 6-5 for the Bobcats. Here's our look over at center ice, which is right about where we'll have our face-off. Neutral zone draw right out in front of the Rock Lobster bench. You can see head coach Steve Martinson in the gray suit, and right to his right is Michael Greco, still day-to-day, hoping for his return imminently to this lineup. Hopefully we could see him midweek. Just a matter of time, hopefully, before the high-impact player. And he is that characterization in more ways than one. Virgili going to the left off a Bobcat. Johnson sweeps it in. Hussey with a quick backhand pass in the trapezoid over to the near side for Patrick Colgan. Big hit in behind. Johnson, beautiful hit, and it ends with a goal! Tic-tac-toe! Johnson with the takeaway to Gallant and finished off by the Swede. Philip Virgili makes it 1-0, and it's a beautiful combination play by the Rock Lobsters' second line. Philip Virgili has just been such a fantastic player on this Rock Lobster team, and how about that for another look? Johnson getting dirty in behind to free that puck up, quickly shifting it to Gallant, and creates an open net opportunity for Virgili. The Swede scores his 24th of the year. He's a point away from 60 on the season. Adam Oja into the high slot, has to be kicked down by Weisblatt. Taken away by Reller. Virgili from Gallant and Johnson marks the opener in this game, and the Rock Lobsters doing what they couldn't do that Friday night in Wytheville, Virginia, and that is beat Gregory Hussey, especially early on in this game, and hopefully that spells good things for the hometown team. Shinkarik bats one down into the end boards. Milan does a good job at getting there, but it whistles past him. Matthew Ernst using his big body against Garrett Milan's smaller frame. A little bit of forecheck there from Weisblatt. Garcia takes a check in with a shoulder from Ernst. That wriggles it free for Vlasov. McHugh from the right side, the Ottawa native getting to the high slot, eases it to the left. Matthew Ernst with a shot, rather that's Austin Belfay. And Lavalier didn't need glasses for that one, he could watch it the whole way. .55 to go in this first period. The Rock Lobsters really finding their footing here in this portion of the first 20, and they have the lead through Philip Virgili. Nice little interchange there between the two youngest defensemen of this Rock Lobster team, both fresh out of college. Zach Papapetros, who is a former collegiate teammate at Castleton University, of two faces familiar to Athens fans, Brandon Picard and Dominique Rodriguez. Into the corner. Alden will chase it down. Is tonight the night in front of the home fans that Alden is on the hunt and gets his first goal as a Rock Lobster. Poked past Garcia, sent back in by Papa Petros. Radchenko in behind. Playing with fire a little bit, Blue Ridge out of their own zone, but they make it look easy. Alden sweeps it away with his skates right out in front of his bench and sends it to the east for Picard. Picard propositioning Hussey to come out from the crease and just get a pad on it. Malik Johnson freeing that puck up again with a hit. Gallant trying to create another opportunity. Kolatarsi gets a tip in off of a Bobcat, and the Rock Lobsters have quickly doubled their advantage. Perhaps it's the luck of the Irish, or perhaps it's the talent of this Rock Lobster team. Kolatarsi with just his third of the year. And let's see who that came off of last. I think it came off of Radchenko as he went in front and actually created a little bit of traffic out in front of Hussey, who saw that shot late. Joe Kolatarsi making it 2-0. We just about make it to the halfway point of this first period, and the Rock Lobsters, after a slow start, now are firing on all cylinders and have themselves a 2-0 lead. But wait just a minute here. Zone entered here by Vladislav Vlasov. He's getting double teamed from both sides. Gallant and Kolatarsi collapsing in on him. Taking a look at how that one was drawn up as we see the Rock Lobsters looking dangerous once again. Gallant with a one-timer. And then Virgili is shoved down in the crease. Hussey with a shove in on Virgili. Kason Gallant picks it up to the left of the trap. Gallant with a little bit of a stiff arm, creating some space. Johnson takes a hit, and he's slow up to his feet. Johnson noticing that he doesn't necessarily have time to get back as Belfay whiffs and gets on a shot, but he created a more clear opportunity for him. Kolatarsi from Gallant and Malik Johnson. How about that? On both goals, you have the same exact assisters. Gallant as the primary and Johnson as the secondary. Two different goal scorers, though, Virgili and Kolatarsi. Lavalier thought he had something on it with the blocker. Poked at by the Bobcats, but now the Rock Lobsters moving from east to west. How about the Let's Go Lobsters chant emerging here in Akins Ford? Sending around the end boards all the way around the rink from Radchenko. Batted out of midair. Shot comes in from the line. Takes a bounce off the near side corner. Picked back up by Athens. Garcia able to force it in. Glukaryov using his frame to try and get in front of Radchenko. Russian against Belarusian there. Smith gets it free, misses the top shelf by a margin. He's looking for his first point as a Rock Lobster as well. Papa Petros to the left for Garcia. Looking for some presence up front. Smith taking some contact there, battling with Mercurio. The big Belarusian giving it right back to Smith. Back at the line, Papa Petros asking questions, banks through the crease. No look pass, and maybe he should have looked there, Hunter Godmere. Great pressure on this shift here from the Rock Lobsters. Papa Petros asking questions with a pass once again, but the Rock Lobsters continue to cause pressure in this Bobcat zone, and finally Blue Ridge is able to pop that balloon and get it at least into neutral ice. A scintillating start for the Rock Lobsters. Philip Virgili looking like a ballet dancer through the neutral ice. Took it around 3, 4, 5 Bobcats. Still has it. Shot at the line from Kyle Powell. The Rock Lobsters using the end boards and that area in the trapezoid to their advantage. Thus far in this one, and right as you say that, you almost see Virgili get his second of the game off of a beautiful behind-the-net feed from Kason Gallant. Picard has it back. Kyle Powell looking for a centering pass. Gallant got something on it, but not enough, and McHugh takes it the other way. 6 minutes to go in this first period, and it's been a blistering start. Left circle shot. Took a deflection off of Powell. Turnaround one-timer from McHugh, and Lavalier stops it. You just could not ask for more, either as a Rock Lobster fan or a neutral, to the start of this game, and we're going to a commercial break. It'll be a brief pause in the action, believe me. There's going to be more fire to this contest coming up after this. UGA football player Amarius Mims suffered a serious injury. The quality care from the Piedmont team changed his life.
As a football player, my body is everything to me. When I got injured, I was worried about
my future in the game, but you and your team's expertise, care, and support reassured me from the start. I've been able to recover because of the quality care I received at Piedmont, and I am back playing at my full potential on the field. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, my family, and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dreams alive. How you doing?
Well, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you. So happy for you. It gives me joy to see you out there on the field doing your thing. You look good.
Appreciate you.
It's a good-looking ankle.
I'm trying to tell you.
Crustacean Nation, the time is now. Season tickets for the upcoming Rock Lobsters season are officially on sale. Lock in your seat and be part of every hard-hitting, goal-scoring, crowd-roaring moment right here in the tank, Akins Ford Arena. Don't miss your chance to experience the energy, the excitement, and the best hockey in town all season long. Scan the QR code on your screen now to secure your tickets and join the Rock Lobsters family today. And how good is this advertisement thus far? Crustacean Nation having a beautiful time here in Akins Ford Arena, and the Rock Lobsters having a great time themselves with the way that they're playing in this game. Goals from Philip Virgili and Joe Colatarsi are the separators right now, and the Athens team is up 2-0 against their neighbors to the north, Wytheville, Virginia's Blue Ridge Bobcats. Reller has been lining up for the draws against Milan and hasn't really benefited from being put in that situation. It's been a good start from Reller in his time as a Bobcat, and he's created what they're calling Reller Mania in Blue Ridge. We saw a deflection at the line there off of a Blue Ridge stick, and it bobbles into their bench. Looks like the faceoff will be taken to the left of Hussey. From an offensive perspective, the right faceoff circle for the Athens Rock Lobsters. Reller loses another one to Milan. Shot gets deflected. Glukarov tries to turn around with it. Picked back up from Weisblatt on the near side. Weisblatt surrounded by two, surrounded by three, still keeping that puck. And then a dirty check-in behind from Radchenko on Milan, and then Glukarov stares him down in a little bit of a shove. You're just not going to try something like that on Milan and get away with it. And that'll send the Rock Lobsters to the Paloma Park power play. For those of you who are unaware, a new activation for our broadcast. If the Rock Lobsters score on the Paloma Park power play, then you earn free churros for 24 hours through the Fan Saves app, the digital coupon book presented by 23 Design. So the check-in from behind, Radchenko will go into the clink for. Let's take a look at this unit here, and it's an interesting one because Milan is here with Glukarov, Weisblatt, and Shinkarik, but Avery Smith also on this five-man unit. Weisblatt back to Shinkarik. Weisblatt on the left side, about a tiptoe away from the circle. Milan on the right side, taking up the same spot as Weisblatt, just looking symmetrical out there. Shinkarik lets one loose. That one goes into the stands, and a little bit of a limp there from Andrioli as his lower extremity was what blocked the shot from Shinkarik. Still a minute 43 to go on this power play. The infraction called against Radchenko. Called for the boarding on Milan. Same 5 out here for the Rock Lobsters as Andrioli had to return to his bench after blocking that shot. Weisblatt finishing the check and then using his back end to pin a Blue Ridge Bobcat to the boards and get the pass off. Milan with a one-timer. Saved by the pad of Hussey and sent the length of the ice by Blue Ridge. Got an Irish flag in the corner fittingly there here for this St. Patrick's Day celebration. Shinkarik. Glukaryov around for Milan. Back to the Russian. Danny Dangles going over to the goal line, finding Milan back in the right circle. Shinkarik to the left for Weisblatt. Fakes the one-time slapper, back over to Milan. Finds a little bit of a window to get it over to the superhero. Milan working his way back to Weisblatt in the left. Took a little bit of a deflection. I think that one almost caught the right post. Finds a way to Shinkarik, who takes a spill there, getting tied up there with a Bobcat. It opens up a little bit of ice, comes back off of Smith, who's so close to bearing the rebound on the shot from Milan and potentially scoring his first as a Rock Lobster. Taking a look at Smith's resume, he has 11 goals and 11 assists for 22 points on the year, all coming on his time as a Motor City Rocker. Was signed just days after facing the Athens Rock Lobsters for the first and only time for the Bobcats this year. Virgili down to a knee to try and get that. It looks like head coach Steve Martinson is really trying to share the wealth of talent with these two units. Gallant, Johnson, and Virgili with Papa Petros and Picard. Picard lets a shot loose. Takes a piece of Hussey. Recycled by Gallant from behind the net. Both teams back at even strength. Papa Petros gets stapled to the boards, but Malik Johnson has looked so dangerous in this game, and it's his ability to never give up in the offensive zone that has created those opportunities for the Rock Lobsters in this game. He has secondary assists for plays just like that. 2 on the night for Malik the Marvel. The Bobcats, having not looked dangerous in quite some time, trying to make something happen through the former Rock Lobster, Brandon Reller, who has to go recollect his stick. A little bit of a glide here from the Swede, who has a goal in this one already. Sprawls from the hit and opens up the shot for Hunter Alden, who's still on the hunt for his first goal in Athens colors. Will it come after this commercial break? Stay tuned here. Goals from Virgili and Kolatarsi separate this game and make it a 2-0 scoreline. Classic City Flats is a brand new apartment community in Athens, Georgia that redefines luxury living, offering a sleek and contemporary living experience. Our impeccably designed apartment homes boast sophisticated interiors, premium amenities, and exquisite finishes, providing residents with an unparalleled downtown living experience. Classic City Flats is excited to deliver luxury apartments that set the new standard of sophisticated living in Athens, Georgia. Classic City Flats, redefining your horizon of living. Farm Burger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard. Grass-fed and grass-finished, that means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission, and our mission is to feed you. Not a lot of time left here in this first period, but the Rock Lobsters will feel good about their efforts through the first nearly 18 minutes of this one. Shots on goal now heavily in their favor. They've made Hussey the much busier goaltender, and they have 2 goals to show for it as well. Bobcats not looking like the same team that started this contest, as Avery Smith has a takeaway that looks easy in the neutral zone. Sends it into the near corner. Laying the hit is Russell, and that prompted a little bit of anger there out of Godmere. Russell wins it back. A step off the line, loses a handle, and the Bobcats get it back into neutral ice. More and more hits in this game as it goes on. Powell doing enough to get it back to the line, but the shot comes from Slagers on the blue part of the ice. Good job there by Russell to make his body big and prevent the dump-in. Taken back into the defensive zone for Blue Ridge, trying to transition some of this defense into offense, which has been difficult for them over the last 10 minutes of this game. Garrett Milan may still have something to say here in this first period. Beautiful traveling from him as he's able to get himself into the slot from the right side. Centering pass from Daniil Glukarioff evades all of his teammates, and McHugh, who's been one of, if not the most dangerous Bobcat in this game, sends it over to Godmere, dumped in right at Lavalier, and that stops time with 59.5 seconds to go. Athens with a 2-0 lead. Having won their previous 2 games after dropping 2 in Port Huron, this is the first of 9 straight home games. And if you're not familiar with what's going on for the Rock Lobsters over the last weekend, Athens has now clinched a playoff spot with a 4-1 win against the Baton Rouge Zydeco back on Friday. And now all attention's turning towards trying to leapfrog the Carolina Thunderbirds for the top spot in the Continental Division. Johnson bats it out on the effort from Shinkarik. Nice little evasion there from Ernst from his own blue line. Trying to give something for the Bobcats to be positive about. That's not bad. A right circle shot that's saved by the pad of Lavalier. To the right here for Vlasov. Centering pass. Good effort. That one deflects quickly out to the right side. Picked back up by the Bobcats, and Klinecki's shot gets blocked, and now the Rock Lobsters have a potential 2-on-1 developing. Drops back down for Johnson. Defenseman loses his stick, and we've got a penalty upcoming, and it's going to be against the Bobcats. 2-on-1 quickly turned into a great opportunity to score for Athens, and Ernst gets his stick into the hands of Johnson, and it looks like it'll be Ernst who sits for 2, and likely the Rock Lobsters will start the second period with a Paloma Park power play. Both goals in this first period have come at even strength, still looking to try and send fans home happy with free churros at Paloma Park for 24 hours. And Milan in discussion with everyone on this unit except Smith, potentially using his expertise to try and open up a window to send a shot into. Weisblatt flips it back to Milan. Working in behind the net, finds Shinkarik, pops up on everybody, and that does it for action. But the Rock Lobsters will have a minute and 52 in the second period of power play. It'll be interesting to see how they carry on from a tremendous start to this performance. Rock Lobsters lead 2-0. Goals from Philip Virgili and Joe Colatarsi. And how about this? The primary assist and the secondary assist belong both to the same person. Kesa Gallant with the 2 primaries, and Malik the Marvel, Malik Johnson, with both of the secondaries. Well, it's been 3 games since we've talked to head coach Steve Martinson, and he had a lot more to be disappointed about when we had our conversation. But with the potential 3 wins as the Rock Lobsters are trying to work on win number 3 since this conversation, here is my talk with head coach Steve Martinson just a few days ago. A busy week ahead for the Athens Rock Lobsters, a period of 6 games in 7 days. Lots to talk about, including the recently ended trade deadline, a mixed bag in Michigan, and, of course, what's to come for the team. As always, it's Matt Rad, joined by Steve Martinson on our Coach's Corner. Coach Marty, we got a little bit of everything this past weekend in Michigan. a bit of good, a bit of bad, and a lot of action. How did you evaluate
the bad and the ugly? Let's just call it what it is: the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know.
How did you evaluate it?
Frustrating weekend. Well, I thought a lot of things. Our power play wasn't a good power play. I thought we took a lot of bad choices for shots, and then, for some reason, we try to score on the odd man rush on the power play, but multiple times we try to go in and make a play on a 3-on-3, instead of curling back and setting up. So I thought our power play was brain dead, and they asked about practice in the day. I just said, I'm just going to roll the lines because we don't do what we practice anyway. So that's on my list. And then, I thought we had one soft goal in each loss. I thought, their winning goal was a tough one to watch. And then, they have, one bad goal. And then, like I said, we're getting all kinds of opportunities, but we're just not finishing, which has kind of been our trademark. All but one game that we played this year that we lost were games that we had lots of shots. So again, we're, two things going there. We, trying to look at bringing in some guys that maybe have a history of scoring a little bit more and making it a little bit more competitive around here. That's number one. We're making it more competitive.
Friday saw the debut of 3 new defensemen. Timur Gavrilovich, who has been moved at the deadline for Avery Smith. We'll talk more about that later. But Adam Oja and Kyle Powell. What did you make of their first few games as a Rock Lobster? And did having new guys, bulk up so much of your defensive pairs, do you think that played a part in the performances?
Well, I mean, I like the way our defense, I like the way they moved the puck and fit in. And that, it was nice to get some left rights in there a little bit that, we're still going to go with the 6 top defenseman, but it's nice to go with some left rights and get that into the equation. Obviously getting some size. Tamir doesn't really use his size. But he's not here anymore. I thought the other guys were physical and had some good hits, and they moved well, and so that they're going to be a plus.
There's a huge scrum towards the end of that game against the Rockers. I do think the intentions of the referees were in the right place, but I do think it highlighted how sometimes referees intervening can do more harm than good. Joe Colatarsi gets into it with Avery Smith, but Joe gets tied up by the referee, and that just leaves Cole a target to be wailed on, and he can't fire back. What's your take on how referees manage those kinds of situations? And do you think that there are moments where their involvement can actually create more problems for the players involved?
Well, you can't come in and grab one player. You just can't do that. And then, the other guy that they grab Joey, and then they grab Powell. And so, and then the other thing is when there's a scrum, if there's a fight, it's just something that I discussed with the officiating. You're supposed to separate the players and get them out of there. And I think we haven't been doing it. We got to get a little bit better at getting the players separated, which kind of alleviates the second scrum. Now, in that situation, that second scrum was coming right away. I think, Smith came in because Joey, I think, was a little bit bigger than the guy that hit Joey from behind. But Joey, just defending himself, turned and went after the guy that ran him from behind, and he left his feet. And, that ended up, we ended up with a suspension, and that was a factor, I thought, in the next game is losing Phil. So, right now we're going to be bigger. We're getting just those guys. And obviously the big, the difference in that scrum is now we have Smith, and Smith's a big guy, 6'3", 225 pounds. And the problem with the referee trying to grab a guy like that is, he couldn't hold on to him. And, and then they called it completely, they ended up with a power play, which, I got to watch what I say but it was really, really frustrating to have them start that stuff and then us get a 5-minute power play, which cost the goalie a shutout. So I was pretty frustrated with it, all in all, but I thought we played good, and I thought we played a really good game on Friday night. And then, the reality of the next 2 games, those guys are Port Huron are playing hard, and they're playing for, they're playing it, for playoffs. And we got guys that just didn't match their intensity. And so I thought that was the big difference, really in the weekend. And some of the goals that we had scored on were guys were taking shortcuts. Our penalty kill on the winning goal was terrible. We had Ford outside of their power play. on the winning goal on Sunday, we had a forward go behind the net when, go behind. You'll see in a game, a player will go for a skate sometimes, go into an easy area. And, so we had a bad change and it ended up being 5-on-4 and Rosie played it wrong. And by the time the guy shot the puck, Rosie was like a 5'5" goalie. He'd come out and was real small. So, my grandmother could have put that one in. It was, there was so much open net. So that was frustrating to see the game-winning goal. And again, I'm throwing a lot of stuff out. We had some guys playing hard. Not everybody, but I didn't think we had everybody in the fight, and we needed everybody in it. And I thought, the big difference from Port Huron is, they had everybody in it.
Why don't we go ahead and talk about Avery Smith? We've already mentioned him a couple times. Not too long ago, there was a situation where we played the Dashers, and you saw Bodan Zinchenko, and then he was traded for and brought into the organization. Is that what happened with Avery? And what about him made him an interesting acquisition?
Well, a couple things. I'd looked him up and I watched shifts of him before we played, so I was watching them and we'd already discussed some things. And then after the game, I made a deal I made him a deal they couldn't refuse, really, is what I did. I just said, okay, what are we really missing on our third line? And I don't like to say what line is which, but I thought we're missing size up front. And we've lost Murray on the blue line. Now we've replaced Murray as a big guy, but we didn't replace Portillo. We had other kind of small forwards in the lineup that, we just had a lot of small forwards and we weren't, it wasn't a heavy line and then it wasn't scoring. So, I looked at, okay, this is a no-brainer. And I was looking like right now the roster as it stands, we're allowed to bring juniors in and college guys, and they don't count against the point system or the roster or the salary cap. So, and then you have to play 15 games pro. So I'm not looking at any pro I brought in. Let's say if a guy was waived, let's say somebody has to waive a guy because of a roster limit or whatever. I'm not looking to add any pros. They have to play 15 games. I don't have to remove anybody from the lineup, or excuse me, I do from the lineup, but not from the roster to bring in these college guys now. So I was actually looking for a guy like that for Avery, but when he became available, like I said, he's a big, strong, tough guy, and it's just really what we've been missing from our lineup as of late.
I want to be careful on how I ask this question. We saw him drop the gloves with our guys on Friday night. Let me just say, I know the philosophy around fighting in hockey. I know that the guys don't look at it the same way, and I know at the end of the day, we're talking about professionals playing a professional game. With all that being said, is there any risk when we see these kinds of moves that there are still hard feelings between the guys who played parts in these?
Well, Joey probably would have liked to gone up and punch him in practice, but that's just part of, I've literally had I've had lunch with friends that were roommates of mine, on opposing teams, and had lunch and fought it with them at night in the game. Everybody understands what the game is, and our guys, especially vet guys, know what we've been missing lately. And I'm sure Joey secretly would probably like to give him a crack, but he likes having him in the lineup. And really, that's the end of it.
Towards the end of that Friday night game, we see the Rockers roll the dice and empty the net. Josh Rosenzweig gets the puck from the trapezoid and starts aiming for the rare goalie goal. Fantastic effort, goes off the post, turns into a secondary assist. I know the philosophy probably changes on that attempt if it were just a one-goal game at the time, but you were up by a couple. How much do you enjoy seeing players like Rosie take those risks, and do you think it highlights how one of Rosie's big strengths is with the puck?
Well, that would have been nice, especially because he lost the shutout on the on the power play. It would have been nice to get that, because I just, if they don't get the power play, they're not scoring a goal. And so it would have been nice that, that's the last I thought about it. Right now I'm looking at really what we need to do to give us the best chance to win every night. So you're asking about those things. It would have been nice, time to move on, but it would have been nice for him to get that, certainly, for sure.
Well, Rosie has been giving us a good chance as of late. He now finds himself in the top 3 in the FPHL in both goals against average and save percentage. He's the youngest guy on this team now after Reller's been moved, and it feels like he's finding new levels all the time. In your mind, what has contributed to Rosie's climb towards being one of the league's best?
Well, he's got a lot of natural talent. He's quick, and he's got good size, and he's got all the ability, all the athletic ability to be a top goalie. And part of it is just being serious and put his mind and make sure that he gives himself the best chance to be, all that he can be, whether it's in practice or in a game.
We talked about a little bit about the games in Port Huron, and we talked about Phil's suspension. You mentioned that you thought it played a part in the result the next night. We know that you missed Phil the next night, but what exactly about Phil's game do you think you were missing on Saturday?
Well, he's one of our top players. He's always at the top of he's always at the top of making plays and hitting. You take his hitting out, and then the next night, we lose Malik right away. So that line was messed up. Now, is that the reason you lose? No. I mean, it has a factor in us not playing our A game, but it's also opportunity for other guys that didn't seize it. And, one of the reasons, if somebody maybe, I just didn't see other guys step up and fill the slot for Phil. And it was opportunity for guys to do that. And we didn't do it. And so I've got another forward that's in town. He had to go back. He has to fly back tomorrow night to take a police academy test, but he's a top leading scorer from Division III team. He's the leading scorer, led the team a couple years at a season high 17 goals. So, like I said, we get Bo back and it's going to get real competitive around here. And if you do some of the things that guys did this weekend, you're going to find yourself either watching on the bench or watching from the stands.
What about the shootout too? I mean, Phil's been your go-to shootout guy as of late. Did having him not in the shootout available shooters that play a part as well?
Well, I mean, again, it does in that he's good in the shootout, but we got plenty of guys that are that are good in the shootout. When you look at our lineup and their lineup, I mean, our top skill, we just didn't score. I mean, you hate to it's tough when you go to a shootout because you're putting the whole game on just a couple of shooters, and I was against this. It favors us because we've got some high skill guys, but I thought fans would have liked to see other players get an opportunity to go in a shootout. So it's unfortunate when it gets to that point and we don't, bury it. And we had a power play in overtime and didn't, the other night and didn't finish. So it's frustrating when that stuff happens.
I know some things, especially things said, need to be left out on the ice, but there were fights, whether verbal or physical, everywhere in the rink against Port Huron, on the ice, in the penalty boxes, and even between the benches. Can you tell us your thoughts on how contentious that series got between the two teams?
Well, so I give those guys credit. So what the league has been allowing, and in my understanding is they're gonna crack down on this now, but the league has been allowing slashing all season, and I've been complaining about it all year. You're not supposed to be able to slash people in the hands and in the arms, and you're not even supposed to be able to slash hard in the stick. I can see that if they let a little bit of stick slashing go, but we've been allowed to slash virtually. I mean, you look at the play that, we were on the power play and Milan came around the net, and it was, I believe, the second period. He came around the net. They slashed him twice in the hand. He came up to the top of the up by our blue line, and they slashed him 3 times in the hand. Now, I'm telling you right now, Port Huron they're targeting the guy's hands because they know they're not calling it. And so one of the things that set things off is I just told our guys to start trying to break their fingers and start with Graham. He's the player coach and he's their top player. And I was just like, okay, if you're going to do this, and they were messing around with Milan. And it was funny because it was their assistant coach, 21, who ended up just getting ragdolled by Carter. And now I'm not saying he's not tough because Carter ragdolled him, but if you're going to do all the talking that he did, you should be able to back it up a little bit. And I don't even think he tried to throw a punch with him, and that whole play, that ends up being the game-winning goal power play for them. And they called us for too many men on the ice. And I'm like, I'm so frustrated at how they can say, okay, what did he do? Did he pull the guy off the bench? If he pulled the guy off the bench, then they get a guy for leaving the bench. But there's no discussion between the 4 referees. Now, wait a minute. They were on a 4-on-3 power play. There was 7 guys over here, 2 guys fighting, so that doesn't equate to one team having too many men on the ice. And that was about that was about all I could take. I'm lucky I didn't get a game misconduct because anyway, it was really, really frustrating. And then, of course, we, on our power play right before that, and I said, I hope this doesn't come back to bite us, but we were super selfish and just brain dead on our power play and not doing anything that we worked on or we try to do. And of course, we didn't score, and that was the difference. I mean, I thought the special teams was certainly the difference on Saturday and Sunday night.
There's been this theme as of late of, guys taking knocks, being day-to-day, and then going and playing these really physical games. We saw 3 in Michigan this last weekend. Does that make the 3-game set against the Monroe Moccasins, who have been, I don't want to go and say the word dirty, but it's hard to not bring that word out of my mouth. Like,
what else are you going to call it? They do a lot of dumb stuff, and a lot of it doesn't get called, which is frustrating. But hey, one of the reasons I bought Kyle Powell is tougher than anybody on their team, and so is Smith, and these guys play a regular shift. So the guys that they have that are their big tough guys don't play very much. One of them hardly plays at all, and if he does, he takes bad penalties. And these guys will be playing a regular shift. So, we went back to where we were with Monroe before, where we've got the bodies now to back up, and play a game that if we need to play it. Now, on the flip side, they need to win out. They need to get 3-point games every night. So, they got to come into our rink and hope to keep their season going, because we can end their season. And, that's not something that we would be opposed to.
Talking once again about how busy we'll be in this next weekend, this will be my last question. What do you hope to learn about your team in this last month of the regular season, especially this week where you have 6 games in 7 days?
Well, I don't know if it's what do I need to learn. I mean, I know what everybody play. I know what everybody's got now, and so you'll see some players in the playoffs that maybe will step up and elevate their game. And they're just playoff guys. But ultimately, what I'm looking for, I don't look for anybody to do anything that they're not capable of. Or let's say, I expect guys to be on their A game every shift. So I expect people not to really be above, where you say, okay, well, I've had an outstanding game. If we have everybody on their A game, then we're going to be fine. We didn't have that this weekend. I mean, we had some key guys that were just kind of passengers, and that I thought was the difference of the game. Now, the difference is now, starting this week when we get another defenseman coming in tonight, and the other forward is going to be back after the weekend. So we'll have extra bodies. So if you're not playing the way I know you're capable of playing, like I said, you can either watch in the middle of the bench, or you can watch in the stands. But at this point, everybody here knows what we expect. We expect guys to play their A game, go to the net, make plays, get pucks in deep. But like I said, our back pressure and our changing wasn't good. Our positioning, I don't think, wasn't good. And then, I don't push guys to be as physical on the road outside of our division if we don't have to be. And so now we're back in our division, and all these teams that we're playing,
Sorry to cut off our interview with head coach Steve Martinson short. If you're interested, you can watch that interview right here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. Seems like I've got something wrong with my scoreboard here. Rock Lobsters getting started right on the Paloma Park power play. Milan out to the right side. Virgili. Ooh, good opportunity out to the left, but freezing it will be Hussey. Looks like I'm frozen here. Looks like we may need to revert back to the old scoreboard here. Apologies here for the lack of the score bug, trying to figure out what's going on here. Rock Lobsters out here on the right side, working this Paloma Park power play. Shinkarik out to the left. Gallant back to Shinkarik at the line. Exchanging these this trio of Gallant, Shinkarik, and Gallant finds the back of the net. Kaysen Gallant has been everywhere through the first 21 minutes of this game. Primary assists on the first 2 goals, and now he gets one himself. The Red Deer Rocket makes it 3-0. Take another look at this one. Shinkarik fakes the one-timer, finds Gallant in the left circle, and Gallant staying dominant in his lead of power play goals in the FPHL. Again, stick with us here. We're trying to figure out what's going on here with our score bug. Rock Lobsters now lead 3-0. A Paloma power play goal, and with that, the Rock Lobsters have earned fans free churros for 24 hours through the FanSaves app. Hopefully we can get a commercial break here to give us some more time to take a look at what's going on with our score bug. Little poke there. Risky play from Belfay right out in front of the Blue Ridge net. Eddie Jennings asking who's in goal for them, and it is indeed Gregory Hussey, who was the first goaltender this season to shut out the Athens Rock Lobsters. Unable to replicate that game tonight. Weisblatt marauding through the 2 circles, loses a handle at the blue line, and that'll get pushed into the neutral zone. Hussey has it in the glove. 18:08 left in the first period. The Rock Lobsters start back in the second, right back where they continued on in the first. A 3-0 lead for Athens. Smith on the faceoff here. One back by Blue Ridge. Entering in from the right side. Out to the left for Reller. Russell has one pop off of him. Oja getting tied up with Klinecki. Shinkarik takes it away. But it's taken away from the captain. Shot comes in from Vlasov. Glove save from Lavalier. Rebound spills out of the mitt. Still a window of opportunity here as Klinecki sends one into the slot. McHugh just misses wide. Shot goes into the side netting. Rock Lobsters can't get it out. Better here from the Bobcats. A beautiful move at the net from Vlasov. All that was missing was the finish. Here comes the Athens Rock Lobsters with numbers the other way. Quick move of the stick from Shinkarik to get it into the far side corner. 3 minutes gone in the second period. Lavalier ponders if he should come out of the crease and poke at that one. Bobcats won it right back at the red line, but it's backhanded by Colgan right towards Kaysen Gallant, who's having one of the best games of his career through the first 20-plus minutes of this game. Kolatarsi has Mercurio in behind him. Look at Gallant just breezing through the pressure. Virgili has it back, that interception on the clearance. Slagers all the way around. Ooh, a creative pass there from the Bobcats, but it's Daly who was creating for the wrong team. Open things up for Virgili. Papapetro stops it at the line. Johnson lets it run over to Weisblatt in the far corner. Milan, fresh out on the ice. Left circle around the end boards. Malik Johnson to the right for Weisblatt. Eases it over to Papapetros, does Milan. Weisblatt in the trapezoid behind the net. A little game of keep away around 2 Bobcats. You can only do so for so long. Glukariov prevents the bank to himself on his fellow number 77, Godmere. Milan almost cast a spell on that one. Beats out the icing. Back around the net, Garcia takes a hit up high. But Garcia not backing down. And that's going to be an icing going up against the Bobcats. 15-12 to go in the second period. Still trying to figure out what's going on with our score bug here. Three to 0 is our score line right now. And we know that's not what the bug is saying. Shinkarik asking questions of Hussey, still loose out in front. Glukaryov trying to get a glance on it. Milan with a couple, plays down with a stick on the puck out of midair. Centering pass came in from Justin Daly. A Bobcat down on the ice, and it's poked through towards Milan. Radchenko, the big Belarusian, is going to get there first. Used to be two 6'6" Belarusians on this team, Radchenko and then Timur Gavrilovich, who had 3 games as a Rock Lobster. All the way back here for Daniel Konecki, 27-year-old D-man from Czechia. Whiff on the shot there. Trying to get a little bit more mustard on that one. A centering effort evades Nicholas Stuckless, but it sticks off the pad of Lavalier. Ernst trying one of his own. Blue Ridge can't keep it in. 6 minutes gone here in the second period. In the early going of the second, the Rock Lobsters were able to make it a 3-0 game on the power play goal from Kaysen Gallant, his league-leading 13th of the year. Reller, a pass back to the line. Couldn't be stopped by the blade, but still getting the shot off the Floridian Ernst. But a pad save from Lavalier, and that's his 14th of the night. Picard, good movement here from the Rock Lobsters. Russell's shot gets deflected out wide. Smith trying to get there. Has 2 Bobcats on him. A little bit of a reverse hit there on Smith, and he wipes out. There's been a lot of action to start this second period and not a lot of whistles. Ooh, a big hit from Russell late on, and he's going to be going to the penalty box for that. And now the Bobcats want a little piece of him. Hussey out of his crease to check on the Bobcat who took that heavy hit from Russell, trying to get my eyes on who was it that took the brunt of Russell's force. An official timeout here. We're going to go to a commercial break. Rock Lobsters lead 3-0, still having issues with the score bug. We'll be back after this commercial break. UGA football player Amarius Mims suffered a serious injury. The quality care from the Piedmont team changed his life.
As a football player, my body is everything to me. When I got injured,
Team changed his life.
as a football player, my body is everything to me. When I got injured, I was worried about
my future in the game, but you and your team's expertise, care, and support reassured me from the start. I've been able to recover because of the quality care I received at Piedmont, and I am back playing at my full potential on the field. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, my family, and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dreams alive.
How you doing? Well, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you. So happy for you. It gives me joy to see you out there on the field doing your thing. You look good.
Appreciate you.
It's a good-looking ankle.
I'm trying to tell you.
Apologies if you notice anything weird with the broadcast. Had to restart OBS. And luckily, it has made our score bug work again. Hopefully, we don't have to do that. And there you see Kyle Russell there in the box. He laid a heavy hit on a Blue Ridge Bobcat. He gets called for an elbowing major, and it will be a 5-minute power play for the Blue Ridge Bobcats. So a real breath of life into this one, as the Rock Lobsters will have to deal with 5 minutes of Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. Didn't get a good look of who it was that took the brunt of that force on Russell's hit. Unfortunately, was too busy trying to figure out what our issues here with the score bug were. But Russell into the box for 5 minutes on the elbowing call, and 5 minutes here of Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. Strong, skilled, strategic defense. That's what you get with Leslie Jones Law. That's what the Rock Lobsters will need here as they try to keep the Bobcats out for 5 minutes. Good start here as Shinkarik sends it down now with 4:40 to go on this man advantage for Blue Ridge. Rock Lobsters with a 3-0 lead, goals from Virgili and Kolatarsi in the first, and then a power play goal to start the second. Milan with a takeaway after two Bobcats come together, looking to make something happen shorthanded, but Milan sends a shot that gets swallowed up by Hussey. Was just talking with some of the fans over at Wild Willie's here on the second floor, and something that has been so beautiful for me to witness is how understanding that the Rock Lobster fans have been with things that go wrong, especially here on the broadcast. You guys have been so patient with me, so patient with our stream, and so patient with wrongdoings and hijinks alike. Thank you so much for watching our show, and thank you so much for being a member of my family and our family here at Akins Ford Arena. Klinecki trying to get something started here for the Bobcats. They're hoping that this can be the start of something new here as they are down 3-0, but have 4 minutes of power play left. Lavalier gets it lost in the skates. Trying to kick it to himself was McHugh. A little bit of danger there for Athens, but the Rock Lobsters are able to get it away once again. Little speed on the right side. It's Brandon Reller. Gets surrounded by two. The Rock Lobsters know the danger that he can provide. He has scored a hat trick as a Rock Lobster against the Dashers just about a month ago. Thank you to all the kind words in the chat. Thank you so much. Glassoff trying to get stuck in the wing, but not a lot of ability for the Bobcats to set up shop here. Sorry for that quick blackout. It also happened here on the big screen in the arena. Glassoff over the center of the blue line. Tries to sweep it away, but Alden will have an opportunity to sweep it away himself. Oh, my goodness. Another awkward bounce off an end board, but this time it was almost the Rock Lobsters who were the beneficiary of it instead of the Bobcats. We saw something like that happen with Lavalier earlier on in this power play, and then it almost happened as the puck bounced off the corner of the end boards and through the crease of Hussey. Mercurio, who's one of the newest members of this Bobcat team. Long resume with the Watertown Wolves and won a championship with them. Avery Smith plays it down with a glove, tries to get the pass away towards Milan. Might have a better chance this time as he pokes it off the possession of Hunter Godmere. The start of this second period has just blown by. Already 10 minutes gone, and we've reached the halfway mark of regulation here. Shots on goal in favor of Athens, 23-13, and the Bobcats really haven't been able to build their tally on the power play. Kolatarsi gets the pass from Papa Petros, looking for the long-range quarterback effort towards Garrett Milan. Rock Lobsters will switch out all four. How about Papa Petros getting some time here on the penalty kill? One of the best efforts that we've seen from the second period thus far from the Bobcats, and it comes from Mercurio. Left to right pass from Brandon Reller, gets poked by Shinkarik, and it goes out of play. We're going to a commercial break here. Just 1 minute and 18 seconds left on this long 5-minute elbowing penalty to Kyle Russell. The Rock Lobsters may get away scot-free, although we're celebrating the Irish.
When you're the Athens Rock Lobsters' biggest enforcer, life can get pretty messy. That's when Justin Portillo calls Crawford Laundry. Justin Portillo only trusts Crawford Laundry to get his toughest game day stains out in plenty of time for the next one.
Meet our professional team, where the best customer service is our promise. With over 5 decades of expertise, trust Stanfield to keep you comfortable. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
Well, that was our merch commercial for the shop.rocklobstershockey.com website. And where else can you get something like this? Put in the special order, and here it is, finally, the Rad 16 jersey that I've been awaiting. Was able to pick it up at the newly opened Rock Lobsters merch shop that is right across the way here at Akins Ford Arena. When you go and reach that parking garage, before you head to the arena, go right to your left, and you'll be able to pick up new merchandise from your favorite Rock Lobster team. Looks like we got a clearer view now here as we return to play. Still about 1:15 to go on this Rock Lobster penalty kill, and Shinkarik has had a great number of plays defensively with the stick. David C. asked, what is the significance of 16 for you? The first sport I ever loved was the sport of baseball, and Brian McCann of the Atlanta Braves was my favorite player, and he always wore 16. He was a big boy who played catcher. I always wanted to play catcher, and I was a big boy, obviously. Ooh, a clever little backhand flip, but Lavalier just hugs the post the whole time. Loose out in front, the goal light's on, but the whistle had already sounded. And now gloves are potentially going to be tossed here as Weisblatt was getting stuck in on Stuckless. Bobcats getting a little bit angry at the officiating there, and Shinkarik with a shove there on Stuckless. Stuckless is being taken away from the scene of the crime, but back to his own bench. Referee explaining something to the off-ice official. Doesn't look like anybody will serve any time here. 8:44 to go in the second period, and once again, the first 11 some odd minutes of this period have really just dripped off the scoreboard quickly. A long 5-minute power play for the Blue Ridge Bobcats, and a confirmation here, no goal for Blue Ridge. The whistle came before the puck was put in the back of Lavalier's net. Alden gets a slight poke in there on Nicholas McHugh. Step on the brakes, and the linesman blows the whistle for offside. 3-0 lead for Athens has yet to be cut by the Bobcats. Goals from Virgili Kolatarsi, and then the Red Deer Rocket on the power play was able to expand his lead among the FPHL standings for power play goals with his 13th of the year. Reller has a shot that's blocked out from a close range. It never reached Lavalier. Reller with another one-timer. Lavalier with a beautiful glove save. We're very familiar with the Reller Rocket, but Lavalier might be as well. as he flashes the glove and prevents Reller from making a remarkable comeback. It's been a lot more start-stop over the last minute. But the Rock Lobsters won't mind. They have a potential goal that's waved off as it came after the whistle that would have brought the Bobcats to within 2. Kolatarsi back behind the net on the face-off. Papa Petros able to get it away, but not out of the zone. Andrioli brought down for Milan, and then Kolatarsi will take it away, and the Rock Lobsters are back at even strength. Kolatarsi deciding that the best pass is a shot, stings the pads of Hussey, but here come the Bobcats the other way. The pass isn't a good one from Blue Ridge out of their own zone. Lukaryov gets it off the bounce, takes it straight towards the net, but Radchenko is there to stomp out the fire. The Bobcats have had a lot more glimmering opportunities in this second period. You could argue whether they've converted them or not. They had the puck in the back of the net. That effort was waved off, and then another beautiful effort from Reller in which Lavalier was able to pull off a highlight reel glove save on. Bobcats playing out from behind their own net here. Radchenko back ahead for McHugh, who tips it in. Kyle Powell drifts back into his own zone, looking for a teammate on the left side. Another awkward bounce, much more easy for Lavalier to control, leaves it for Powell. Poked ahead towards Picard. Back for Powell. Garcia will take it away as Picard was surrounded by two Bobcats. Smith tries the snapper from right out in front of the circle. Net is off its moorings, and this game is getting away from the officials. Avery Smith will drop the gloves with Ernst. Smith with his first fight as an Athens Rock Lobster. He's down to a knee, but he's back up, trying to get that hand free. And then we see more pushing and shoving as Smith is taken down by Ernst. Former Rock Lobster against new Rock Lobster now. Powell against Reller. This one's a heavyweight fight. Reller throwing a right, an uppercut. Catch it, Powell. Oh! Powell goes Powell on Reller. Welcome back home, Brandon. Welcome back home. Are we in the tank? It's feeling like fight night at the Apollo. Powell will wave goodbye. And it's a very apt last name for Kyle. Avery Smith pumping up this Rock Lobster crowd. He's the kind of player that you knew would revel playing out in front of Crustacean Nation. We were just talking about how 10 minutes has flown off the clock here at Akins Ford Arena. That feels like a long time ago now. 6:34 to go in the second. Klinecki and Shinkarik charged with the responsibility of explaining the calls to their respective coaches. And Wojciech Zemleka, the Blue Ridge Bobcats head coach, is not behind the bench. Zemleka serving a suspension for his part as we see another replay of this fight. Smith already throwing, and then Reller saying, hey, pal, you want to go? You hate to get poetic, but it's so easy with hockey. Reller makes his return to Akins Ford Arena, but Kyle Powell makes sure he feels not so welcome. Looks like there's issues with the net and its moorings. It looks like it's been placed back on. Reller and Ernst both called for 5 for fighting. We saw Powell get taken off the ice. So not sure if some of the afters there will go against Powell. We saw a couple extra shoves on Reller after Powell had secured the takedown. Lots to be excited about here at Akins Ford Arena. A couple fights, a few goals. You've got to feel lucky as you watch the St. Patrick's Day celebrations. Papa Petros gets caught up and takes a heavy challenge from Michael Mercurio. Those two still tied up, just getting away now. Gallant pokes it ahead for Virgili, drops back down for the Swede. Deflected out to the end boards on the save by Hussey. Garcia. Little tilt-a-whirl at the line, banks it ahead. Taken away by the Bobcats. Can they get it out of their zone? Reller's been given a game misconduct here for fighting after the original altercation. And I believe Powell is going to be adjudicated for that as well. Penalty still coming in here at Akins Ford Arena. Stick with us here. Milan lets it run. Johnson. Oja able to find Weisblatt. Shinkarik slapping the ice. He wants that one. Weisblatt leaves Shinkarik short. Bobcats looking for something, anything here. Oja ahead for Weisblatt. Weisblatt bounces off the check from Colgan. Beautiful from Glukaryov! Danny dangles and he scores! Rock Lobsters lead by 4! Athens came into the night looking for revenge, and it's been Shakespearean thus far. Let's look at it again. Weisblatt bounces off that check, gets it to Milan. It bounces beautifully for the Russian. And when Glukaryov gets in that kind of position, you bet on the Russian scoring more times than not. We go to a commercial break. Athens leads by 4 now after the goal from Danny Dangles. UGA football player Amarius Mims suffered a serious injury. The quality care from the Piedmont team changed his life.
As a football player, my body is everything to me. When I got injured, I was worried about
my future in the game, but you and your team's expertise, care, and support reassured me from the start. I've been able to recover because of the quality care I received at Piedmont, and I am back playing at my full potential on the field. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, my family, and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dreams alive.
How you doing? Well, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you. So happy for you. It gives me joy to see you out there on the field doing your thing. You look good.
Appreciate you.
It's a good-looking ankle.
I'm trying to tell you.
Every business owner who's built a business wonders about their company's legacy. What's the path forward after they decide to take a step back? At the heart of every succession plan is a vision that safeguards hard-earned success. This isn't just paperwork. It's your roadmap, guiding a business during a change in ownership and detailing how ownership transitions and key financial decisions unfold. This instills a profound sense of pride, belonging, innovation, and commitment, ensuring a stable future for the company and a rewarding exit for you. Let's forge that path together.
It has been all Rock Lobsters in this one, despite the fact that there was a lengthy 5-minute power play at one point for the Bobcats. Expanding on this already tremendous night for Athens was Daniil Glukaryov, who scores the 4th of the night for Athens. Athens not done here yet, and again, your mind goes to Hunter Alden, who is still on the search for his first Rock Lobster goal. Glukaryov from Milan and Weisblatt. Good move here from the Bobcats, but nothing that they can do on the shot from McHugh. Are we going to have things get heated once again? McHugh trying to get in on Russell. They're still thinking about that hit from Russell earlier on in this one. And they'll go. Russell won't even wait to try and get the gloves off. He'll wrestle McHugh to the ground. Russell's going to go to the locker room early and return in the third period. Let's get another look at how this one developed. You see here McHugh and Russell tied up. Get a close look. McHugh shoves the mitt right in Russell's face, and then that brought Russell to a boil. Starts throwing a little bit himself and then takes McHugh down to the ground. A big smile on Gallant's face. 2 Rock Lobsters in the box. Looks like they'll leave Russell in the box, despite the fact that should be a fighting major for 5 minutes with less than 5 minutes to go here. He's joined by Avery Smith. So taking a look at the penalties from earlier on, you have the fight between Kyle Powell and Brandon Reller. 5 minutes for fighting for both of them, but also fighting after the original altercation for both of them, which is a game misconduct. So both of their nights will be done. We'll see what that means in terms of the player safety calls tomorrow. But Avery Smith and Ernst, they're the original duo to drop the gloves, and that's what the game misconduct is for. So one fight happens, and then Powell and Reller decide to drop the gloves. Because of that, they're both called for the game misconduct, and they're both out of the game. And honestly, you hate to see Reller go out of this game early. I know a lot of Rock Lobster fans were excited to see his return to this arena, but he's also a danger man for the Blue Ridge Bobcats. He's really already made a name for himself amongst the Wytheville faithful. So, someone you don't mind seeing in terms of the storyline of this game. Milan with a clean face-off win. Virgili up the left side. Gallant tries to sweep it through the stick of Patrick Colgan there. It's picked back up from Shinkarik as the puck traverses over the red line. Shinkarik looking for Virgili. All he can do is offer a poke at it. Johnson springs it free. Virgili with Milan on the left side, but an early trip there into the offensive zone, and the offside is the call from the officials. And pardon me, this is a Paloma Park power play for the Rock Lobsters. Didn't even notice the extra man there. And here come the Rock Lobsters again. Milan drops it back for Shinkarik. Out to the right side, back for Super Milan. Trying to find out what the call is here. It's McHugh, because Russell was called for roughing for 2 minutes. So it must be an extra penalty called on McHugh, and Shinkarik rifles one to the back of the net. They all gather around Captain Fantastic, who makes it 5. And it's quickly becoming a night to forget, as the Rock Lobsters still remember what happened the last time these two teams faced off here on Akins Ford Ice. Let's see how this one went down. Puck came from the end boards. Gallant over to Johnson. Johnson over to Milan, back at the line for Shinkarik. And he just is in possession of an absolute laser. Back in action, 3:24 to go in this middle period. Rock Lobsters lead 5-0. 5 different goal scorers for the Rock Lobsters as well. Virgili, Kolatarsi, Kaysen Gallant, Daniil Glukaryov, and Carter Shinkarik. Second power play goal of the night for the Rock Lobsters. It was just Pi Day a couple days ago, and fittingly enough, there's 3 minutes and 14 seconds to go in the second. Bobcats win the face-off and challenge Lavalier with a shot right out of it. Papapetros spins around his own net. Papapetros picks it back up at the line. Can the rookie, in just his first few games, make a difference here? A beautiful centering pass. Alden trying, and he just misses wide. That would be the cherry on top, is Alden finding the twine in this one. No icing here. Good job to beat it out there from Daly. Alden gets it away. And I believe that one will be an icing. No, it's called off. It never reached the goal line there. Sent in. Shinkarik picks it back up, sweeps it, reaches Glukaryov, evading Mercurio. Someone loses their stick. In behind, it's Papapetros. Shinkarik takes a low hit from Andrioli, and Shinkarik slow to get back up. Shinkarik clearly hurting here. Puck loose out in front, and then Lavalier gets saved. Blue Ridge must think we're Binghamton. A couple of our guys take a spill. Important players getting pushed left and right like Shinkarik and Lavalier. And Steve Martinson on the bench wanting some answers here. Shinkarik had to limp to the bench, fresh off of scoring the 5th goal in this one, and assist came from Garrett Milan and Malik Johnson. Malik Johnson, 3 secondary assists in this one. Face off right out in front of the Blue Ridge bench. Whistled in around the boards on the far side. Vlasov backing around. Vlasov just pretty much trying to annoy Milan. Milan gets the stick away from him and kicks it away. Malik Johnson with a little bit of speed. Gets around Slagers. Drops it back. Garcia overskated the pass from Johnson. Johnson still with the puck. 3 assists in this game. Took a hit despite the fact he was already down to his knees. Centering effort off the pads of Hussey. Milan trying to dig it out. Rock Lobsters at this point may just try to get into this third period healthy. Garcia bats it down at the line. May benefit the Bobcats more. Bank pass off the near side boards. Taken off of Vlasov. Garcia over to Kolatarsi. A minute of play remaining in the second period. Bobcats trying to put any fire in the furnace that they can at this point. Papapetros to Virgili, who marauds over the center of the blue line. Oh, my goodness. Beautiful backhand from the Swede through the crease, but no one was there to put the finishing touches on it. Shot comes from the blue part of the ice from Oja. Glove save from Hussey. Larry Wise asking in the chat, what did I miss? I saw goal 4. What was goal number 5? Shinkarik with a slapper. And his shot from the line was an absolute laser that beat Hussey. Big cheer from this Rock Lobsters crowd as Smith has been sprung from the penalty box and back out on the Athens bench. However, the question on everyone's mind is we have not yet seen the return of Carter Shinkarik after he took that terrible low hit from Carson Andrioli. Virgili face-off win. Gallant takes a spill, and now he's hurting down on the ice. He's stayed down in the left circle. The Bobcats close to scoring, but it deflects into the netting above the net, and Gallant has remained down here on the ice. The Bobcats waited a long time to start trying to throw bodies in this game, and it's come when their scoreline is not in their favor, down 5-0. Hopefully we see Gallant return into this game, but he's being escorted off the ice into the locker room by athletic trainer Chris McNeely. Not what you want to see, but it was good to see Gallant up on his own feet. Not loving how the Bobcats have chosen to play this game, despite the fact that they are down 5-0, and this is not the way that they were playing when the game was even, when the game was at 1-0, when the game was at 2-0. Offside called with exactly 2 seconds left in the second. And I don't think the Rock Lobsters on the ice are happy about it either. A little bit of a stare down there between Virgili and Wolf. And I think Virgili say, hey, how about you look at the scoreboard? Tammy Gallant asking where son Kaysen is. Unfortunately, he's taken an early trip to the locker room with 2 seconds to go. Hopefully we see him out for the return in the third period. We'll get you updates on that. We also saw Shinkarik take a spill. And the Rock Lobsters should be feeling a lot better than they are right now, but the 5-0 lead is not completely showing what all is happening out on the ice. A lot of body throwing from the Bobcats. And I'm not exactly in agreement with at what point in the game it's coming. Bobcats trying to find any motivation they can to continue on in this one. They're down 5-0. Carter Shinkarik, hopefully we see him back in the third period as well. We didn't see him until after he took that hit. He's there high-fiving everyone off the ice, and Shinkarik has been our newest Lobster Tales segment here on the broadcast as of late. He had the opportunity to answer some of your questions that were posed to me on the Athens Rock Lobster fan page. If you want to get in on future Lobster Tales and ask some questions of your own, be sure to follow the Athens Rock Lobster fan page so you can play a part of them. Here is my Lobster Tales segment with Captain Fantastic himself, Carter Shinkarik. It's his goal that has the Rock Lobsters up 5-0. Voice of the Rock Lobsters, Matt Teenrad, and you're watching Lobster Tales. It's the best way to learn about your favorite Athens Rock Lobster players. And lots of you have been clamoring for a talk with today's guest. I may know him as Captain Fantastic, but you might know him as Carter Shinkarik. Shinks, how you doing, my man?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great, my brother. You're always one of my absolute favorite guys to talk to. You were the first guy I ever talked to and ever interviewed after I was hired. Looking back to that time, I can't believe, how huge it's all gotten. Thinking about the arena, the play of the team, how fervent the flame of the fans is. Looking back from how you felt back then to how you feel now, are even you surprised on how everything has gone down?
Yeah, I think there's always uncertainty with the first-year program. What's the fan base going to be like? Is the team going to be successful? kind of will anyone know who you are in town, but it's caught like wildfire. And it kind of started when you kind of got a feeling of, oh, we're onto something here, was even before we got to play at home. I think we were on the road first, 11, 12 games, and we had that Christmas parade, and kind of our first time being in the city of Athens, and people are going crazy, when our float, or when we're doing the parade, and you have a bunch of people with the claws up. You guys are awesome. Can't wait to see you. All that stuff, and you kind of you felt a little special, and it's just the turnouts for the games have been great. Fan support, walking around town, people recognize us, so it's been a cool experience, and everything I think a player can ask for so far.
One of the things I wanted to talk to you about was your captaincy. I remember asking you about getting the C when it happened at the beginning of the season. Do you feel like the importance and the weight of that letter has grown since being able to play out in front of the fans in Akins Ford Arena?
Like I try not to put too much thought into it, to be honest. I know older guy, and kind of expected to be a leader on a team when you wear a letter, but at the end of the day, it's a small patch on a jersey, and we got lots of older guys with tons of great insight of the game who play the game right and conduct themselves the right way. So it's leadership by committee, and first year captain, you're just trying to set the tone, lead by example, but try not to think about too much. Just wake up every day, go to work, and try to do all the right things, and hopefully the guys see that, follow along. And like I said, lots of leaders on this team. It's been fun getting to establish our culture, and having meetings with guys, and constantly kind of tweak, and hey, do we like how we're doing things this way? Do we want to change? And it's kind of the cool thing with the first year program. You're not building off culture from years before, trying to change it or fix it. It's more, you got to create it, and you create it by committee, collective effort. And that's the definition of a team, is everyone pulling on the same rope and trying to win hockey games.
There's already been a ton of fantastic memories involved with this team in its first year, and hopefully there's still plenty of more to come in this season. But you've really had a front row view of every fantastic moment the club has experienced this year. When you look back at this first season in club history, what is the first moment that comes to mind?
Probably, playing the first game at home was a special moment. Waited a little bit longer than we wanted to, but patience is a virtue, I suppose. But we did this thing after the game where we take a little victory lap when we win, and thank our fans for coming, and salute the crowd. And that first time at home, had a big crowd, swept the weekend. Fans are going crazy, and you kind of, special feeling for sure. So lots of great moments. Best moment is still yet to come at the end of the season, but so far a bunch of small victories along the way. And I think the boys are looking forward to the last 2 months of the season, and they're the most fun, most taxing, most demanding, physically, mentally, emotionally, but it's all worth it in the end. Come May, when we're racing the cup, all that hard work pays off.
One thing I've been interested about, and I've asked a ton of the guys about, is the treatment of the players from this organization. It feels like something we're seeing more and more in the news recently, how players are getting treated in the minors. Your playing has spanned across the coast, the SB, other Fed teams, even in Hungary. How does this organization weigh up in terms of facilities and treatment of players?
Well, facilities, bar none in minor pro hockey. I mean, it's pretty much an AHL rink. We get treated incredibly well here, and we're blessed and fortunate, and try not to take it for granted. You'd be on the ice, and guys will come up to you. You guys get treated well. Like, it seems like an unreal place to play, and bluntly, you guys say, yeah, we're spoiled. Like I said, try not to take it for granted. Played in different leagues in the Fed. I don't think there's a better place to play, and I'm not just saying that. I played in different markets, and every place has pros and cons. There's not really too many cons playing here. You have good staff, good fan base, a good arena, good town, good fan support, winning team. As a player, checks off pretty much every single box that you can think of. Guys who get traded or we sign from other teams, even different leagues. It's kind of a shocking eye moment, especially with first time they see the arena going, holy smokes, this is pro hockey. And we try to create the standard, both on and off the ice of East Coast Hockey League standards. So it's the habits that we try to enforce every single day, and that's not just from the players, it comes from the staff, and everyone part of the organization has done a great job getting this thing going, and it's taken off. And you put time, effort, energy into anything, it's going to pay off, and that's kind of what you're seeing happening in Athens with hockey right now.
I want to zoom in onto your play on the ice a little bit. I don't think there's anyone that plays as a defenseman like you do in this league. And a lot of that has to do with your background, primarily as a forward. You've seen a couple games this season at forward as well. I remember those couple games in Columbus. Was that something that made you excited getting to play at center again? Or are you seeing how much you're influencing the game from the blue line right now?
Yeah, it's always nice to, I guess, kind of switch it up a little bit. And I think the first 29 years of my life, I was playing forward, and then made the transition to D. So when you got to go back, it's a blast from the past, and I like it. Win a couple face-offs, get to chirp our centers a little bit. That's how it's done, boys, sort of thing. But yeah, I think a lot of guys, you see Russ go forward, play forward in D. We had Demke, a couple guys. The guys here, whatever it takes, they play forward, they play D. I play goalie if I needed to. It's kind of, what does the team need? And the boys are more than willing to get it done and do it for the team and organization.
I was on the road trip to Blue Ridge, and it was right after the Four Nations face-off. We're still not too far removed from it. You're a proud Canadian boy from British Columbia. How heated did it get between the Canadian guys and the American guys as you guys got to watch that tournament unfold?
Yeah, it was awesome. There's a lot of chirps, a lot of side wagers, and not just with the Americans, but Phil's Swedish, so gotta get my skates untied from him a few times. So it's all in good fun, but I think people are patriotic with their country. I mean, I've spent a lot of time in the U.S. I think U.S. is a great country, but proud Canadian. So when they got it done in the finals, it's definitely bragging rights, and you're walking in, your head's a little bit higher, your chest is out a little bit, and you got to kind of anytime you can kind of pick on some of the teammates and good fun, it's free game, and boys are willing to do it.
I was going to ask, did everyone just kind of gang up on Phil? He's the only Swedish guy, and there's maybe a third of the team's Americans, another third is Canadians. Did everyone just gang up on Phil and bully him?
I think people gang up on Phil quite a bit, regardless of the Four Nations. He's a easy target, but the boys love Phil. He's an awesome teammate, good friend of mine. I've known Phil for a long time, so he's a big part of this team, big puzzle piece, voice in the locker room. Everyone respects him. Everyone loves Phil. So, but when you can, Phil gives you an inch, you'll take a mile, just because you love the reactions, and it's all part of what we love about him.
Speaking about pride from where you're from, another BC guy just got added into the mix. Kyle Powell recently signed with the team. I was curious how he's fitting into the fray with you and Garrett Milan, who are both from BC.
Yeah, can't have enough Western Canadian kids on the hockey team. So he's been awesome. Small sample size so far, but he's meshed in well with the boys. Played the same junior hockey team that he played with, just a few years apart. But it's always kind of nice, part of the game, which especially if you meet new people, but it's also kind of nice to have some familiarities with cities, towns, and experiences that you had back home that you can kind of swap stories with. So he's a big boy, tough guy. The conversation I was had with him, he's here for a reason. He wants to do his job. He's done everything we've asked for him so far, and it'll continue to grow with, even all the other new guys. It takes a little bit to build chemistry, but, that's kind of our job as players and older guys to, make them feel welcome. And, kind of talks of, hey, there's been a decent amount of turnover lately. What's something we can do for team bonding? I know we're talking about going bowling, and weather's getting nicer, just kind of doing something. More time you spend with the boys, the more you're going to be closer. The closer you are, the more you're going to play for each other on the ice. So, Kyle's done a great job. Charismatic, fun-loving guy to, loves life, always a smile on his face. So he's been a great addition for us.
Well, Shanks, we're introducing a new segment to our show in this episode where we reach out to Crustacean Nation and ask them for questions to ask you. We're simply calling it Question a Crustacean. Our first question comes from close friend of the show and admin of our Rock Lobster fan page, Niven McCrary. She wants to know, which teammate would you least want to be stranded with on a deserted island? I think might know your answer.
There's well, I wouldn't care about stranded with anyone, but a few, just for the sake of friendly kind of banter and picking on someone. I'll say my boy Phil. Him and I, we get arguments all in good taste. Like we're super close, but I'm pretty sure we would be wringing each other's necks after a couple of days. And then, it like I said, all in good fun, but for the sake of, I like picking on Phil, I'll say Phil for sure.
I was going to say, you say that, but aren't you guys roommates on the road?
Yeah, roommates on the road. Sometimes not too many words spoken. A lot. Sometimes can't shut us up. So, but that's all part of the brotherhood. So, like I said, anytime I can pick on him and show him the video of me doing so, I'll definitely take that chance and opportunity.
Well, Shanks, our next question comes from Shannon Vanskike, and you've told me this story before, but she wants to know how you lost your teeth.
Yeah, it happened a couple years ago. Just kind of forechecking a D, and I think he tried to go glassing out and went my face and in with the puck. So kind of knew right away that you could kind of feel they were chipped and pretty wiggly. Went to the bench, and I think there was only like 3 minutes left in the game. So let's worry about it after the game. Had some blood on the jersey. Had to go to the locker room, and then I ended up actually like pulling 2 of my teeth, and I was going to go for a third one, and kind of thought after the 2 of them were out, I'm getting a little trigger happy here. I kind of want to keep my teeth in my mouth. So I always say you got to look the part. It's pay the hockey tax every now and then. So yeah, it was cool for a couple of weeks. I had a hockey player missing some teeth. Been a couple of years. Looking forward to the day I get them, permanently fixed, and but all part of the game. And should probably wear a mouth guard, learning lesson. But that's the way it goes. Like I said, you pay the hockey tax every now and then. I paid it. Hopefully, no more missing teeth in the future.
Adam Waters with a technical question. He says, during a power play, how do you know when to rip a slap shot or distribute the puck? What are you seeing that influences that decision? He also adds, I love the Captain Fantastic slap shots on the Paloma Park power play. How do you answer that question, Shanks?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think it's just Milan and I, we're always working with each other on the left side of me. I know Galley's there, and Orcs has been there, a couple guys that cycle through, but Milan's kind of been on my right-hand side for a bit, and usually the guy, as a right-handed guy, is giving me the pass, so try to do a little pre-scan. Am I in a position if the puck comes to me? Do I have a lane? Sometimes I think I have a lane. Shots get blocked maybe more than I want them to. But, job at the top of the power play is just kind of distribute when it needs to be distributed. You see if there's any nut front guys creating the screen. And if you have a lane, take a shot. You can't score if you don't shoot. So, it's a little bit of guessing game and hoping, trusting your instincts. But, we kind of work on different looks and stuff like that. So you just kind of, you're constantly reading and feeding off what the other team gives to you. Someone's in the lane, try to pass it. Someone's not in your lane, take a shot.
My next question comes from Sarah Jane Bork-Young. She tells us, we always see you chatting with the refs as someone is heading to the sin bin. What's the most frequent and or ridiculous thing you say?
Probably can't say the most ridiculous or repeat some of the stuff. But, no, I try to the reffing, good, bad, ugly, tough job for refs. Got to have some thick skin. You're constantly under a microscope. You're getting berated by fans, players, you name it. So, I just try to get understanding of, every ref has a kind of a line of what they allow and don't allow. So just trying to get consistency out of them and get a clear message of what's going to be called and what isn't. And when it's not consistent, kind of letting them know, hey, this one play is getting called, this other play is not, try to track.
We're going to cut off our interview with Captain Fantastic Carter Shinkarik a little bit short as we return here to Akins Ford Arena for the start of this third period. I'm going to briefly pause for station identification. WGAU and W254CJ Athens, 98.7 FM and AM 1340 WGAU. You see the guys in the tunnel getting ready to come out. And this should be a pretty good advertisement tonight, this 5-0 scoreline and the great time that Crustacean Nation is having here in our St. Paddy's Day celebration for our season tickets. Crustacean Nation, the time is now. Season tickets for the upcoming Rock Lobsters season are officially on sale. Lock in your seat and be part of every hard-hitting, goal-scoring, crowd-roaring moment here in the Tank Akins Ford Arena. Don't miss your chance to experience the energy, the excitement, and the best hockey in town all season long. Scan the QR code on your screen now to secure your tickets and join the Rock Lobsters family today. We're going to have to start looking out on the ice to see if we see some familiar faces. We saw Carter Shinkarik take a dangerous low hit late on in the second. We also saw Kaysen Gallant get escorted off the ice. Trying to see if we see Carter Shinkarik skating out in front of the Rock Lobster bench. William Lavalier recently coming off of his 10th win of the season. Looking for his first shutout as a Rock Lobster. And I know people in the chat will get angry at me for potentially jinxing that, but Lavalier having a great start to his night, 20 saves and a blank slate. Off we go in the third period. Bobcats coming away with the faceoff. Belfay unable to find Vlasov with his pass, and then Garrett Milan showing off the wheels. Glukarioff, who had a beautiful goal already in this one, trying another, asking questions with a centering pass, and that's Adam Oja that he was looking for. Kyle Powell is no longer in this game, had the game misconduct, as did Brandon Reller with their fight that came after the original fight between Avery Smith and Matthew Ernst. Cole Atarsi around for Russell. Forwards will change. There's Philip Virgili. There's Malik Johnson. There's Russell with a slapper that gets deflected out wide. And it looks like the Bobcats have making a change in net. Anthony Schrum is now in the crease for the Bobcats in place of Gregory Hussey, who has been pulled after letting up 5 goals in the first 40 minutes. There's a good look at Schrum, who made his pro debut last night. Did a great job. Saved 25 of 26 shots. And looky here, Kaysen Gallant is back out on the ice to start this second period. Nice to see him moving a little bit freely as well. Gallant picks it up in the neutral zone, eases it towards the Swede. A beautiful stiff arm, stick handle move from Virgili. His pass just misses Malik Johnson. Around left, Cole Atarsi sends it back off the end boards. picked up by Blue Ridge on the left side. Toe drag attempted by Daly, cut out by the Rock Lobsters. Here's Kason Gallant. Revenge could be beautiful for him. Malik Johnson flips it up, and Schrum makes his first save. Schrum spent 4 years of D3 hockey at Worcester State, had a grad year at Miscordia. Gallant takes a spill at the line. I believe that one's going to go down as an icing. But great to see Gallant back up on his feet. Shinkarik and Gallant questions on if they were going to be able to return back in this one, and it looks like the Rock Lobsters are going back to the Paloma Park power play. Joshua Slagers called for the trip. Rock Lobsters already have 2 power play goals to their name, Gallant and Shinkarik. The 3rd and 5th goals on the night. Ooh, Hunter Alden out on this power play unit. Would love to see him get in on this scoring party tonight here at Akins Ford Arena. Shinkarik gallivants around his net, comes out, finds Glukari off on the left side, loses a little bit of a handle, tries to take it in himself and chase it down with his speed, but here comes Nicholas Stuckless the other way. Tight angle shot just to the right of the right circle. Pad save from Lavalier. Rock Lobsters load back up. Alden has taken up a spot on the left side, floats one towards the end boards. Weisblatt almost loses his skates out under him. Shinkarik, Milan, Alden, Milan. Milan, pad save from Schrum. It was still loose out in the crease. Weisblatt, the killer whale, was smelling blood in the water, but the Bobcats have it away. Minute gone just about here on the Paloma Park power play. Alden out off, back onto the bench, and Malik Johnson on in his place. Weisblatt will also go off. Papa Petros on for him. Gallant, beautiful! He's looking no worse to wear for me because Gallant now has his 14th power play goal of the year. You just can't stop the Red Deer rocket. You can hack, you can check, you can knee, you can elbow, but he'll find a way. Let's take another look. Shinkarik marauding through the neutral ice as only he can. Gallant just waits for the pass from the right side and goes forehand backhand on Anthony Schrum. And now Kason Gallant is on the watch for the hat trick. He's the first Rock Lobster to have multiple goals in this one. Johnson and Shinkarik with the assist. Johnson with his 4th assist of the night. Smith with a good check. Alden has it on the left. Alden draws the shot pack, pad save Schrum. Colgan takes it away. A stretch of a pass that didn't make it to McHugh. Picard has it go under the blade of his stick. New goaltender for the Bobcats, but same result thus far as Schrum lets in a shot behind him in one of the first shots faced in his night thus far. Garcia getting hassled by 2 in behind here. Rock Lobsters take it away through Gallant. Gallant again. Goes under Virgili. Johnson takes it in. Johnson with Virgili to his right. Put it through traffic. Virgili missed out on the opportunity. Colatarsi looking for his 2nd. Spills out to the far side for Virgili. Russell now with a rocket. That one took a piece of Johnson. The Bobcats looking much more like the team that had a hard day of travel. And mind you, both of these teams had to make a bus trip here today. The Rock Lobsters from Baton Rouge and the Bobcats from their home in Wytheville. Virgili is looking hungry for another one in this game. Russell takes a hit up high. Will that gather some momentum for the Bobcats? Taken in here. Stuckless here in the near side corner. Loses a handle, and Weisblatt takes it away from him. What I was concerned with was the Rock Lobsters having a big win, but not being able to celebrate it with important players being out for the long haul. Great to see Shinkarik and Gallant back in this game. Meanwhile, Milan using his super speed to try and open up another great opportunity. Glukaryov was bearing down in on that one, slapped out of the midair by Belfay. Two Rock Lobsters with 4-point nights thus far. Kaysen Gallant with 2 goals and 2 assists, and Malik Johnson with 4 assists. Bobcats. Good pass, banked off the penalty box boards for McHugh. Poked away from him, Shinkarik slaps at it, falls to McHugh, and there's their goal. It finally comes, McHugh with a centering pass, and right there on the welcome mat is a Bobcat to get it past Lavalier, and there goes the shutout for the Rock Lobsters. Looks like it's Belfay who goes and collects the high fives at the Bobcat bench. It may not be their game. You may not have the luck of the Irish on their side, but the Bobcats have something to build on here as they are down now 6-1. Schrum will freeze that. 13:38 to go in this final period of regulation. And right after the Bobcat goal, we've got a 6-1 scoreline, and we go to a commercial break. Still a lot of game in this one. Perhaps the Rock Lobsters can sniff double digits. Let's see what happens. We'll be back after this advertisement. Classic City Flats is a brand new apartment community in Athens, Georgia that redefines luxury living, offering a sleek and contemporary living experience. Our impeccably designed apartment homes boast sophisticated interiors, premium amenities, and exquisite finishes, providing residents with an unparalleled downtown living experience. Classic City Flats is excited to deliver luxury apartments that set the new standard of sophisticated living in Athens, Georgia. Classic City Flats, redefining your horizon of living. It's a historic season for all the hockey fans in Athens, and how can you celebrate without beer? The Athens Rock Lobster Clawshank Redemption is available exclusively at Terrapin Tap Room. Terrapin, do the right thing, always. You want to talk about exclusivity. There's really only one place that you could get something like this customized, beautiful, white Rock Lobsters away jersey. How about that? It was absolutely excellent. Was able to reach out to the Athens Rock Lobster staff that sell our merchandise and get a personal jersey made. Of course, Michelle Martinson, the helm of that. Wife of head coach Steve Martinson, and has done so much for this team in her own regard for making some beautiful merchandise. And we see a ton of it in the audience tonight as we see a great catch right there in the first row. There's no better place for a party than the Classic City, but an even tighter microcosm of that is right here at Akins Ford Arena, the Lobster Tank. Feels like claws are going to be firmly up tonight. Rock Lobsters up big 6-1. Kaysen Gallant on hat trick duty, but right now I'm on Hunter Alden watch. It's time. We want to see him get a goal. Icing called against the Bobcats. 13:07 to go in the third. At the 5-0 mark, there was 5 different goal scorers for the Rock Lobsters. Virgili, Kolatarsi, Gallant, Glukaryov, and Shinkarik. But Gallant became the first to have multiple on the night as he made it look easy. He went forehand, backhand on, you want to almost call him an inexperienced goaltender. Fresh out of college, but 26 years old. Alden rips a shot, takes a piece of a Blue Ridge body. Garcia with a kick at the line, keeps it in, sends it towards Smith. Gallant, the younger man in comparison to Shrum by 2 years. Papa Petros almost lets it run, keeps it in at the line. Puck tied up here, springs out for Alden. Just sends it to where no one else is. Picard with a turnaround effort off the ankle of Colgan. Little bit of speed here for Mercurio. Andrioli, pad save from Lavalier. Perhaps there's a little bit of gas in the Blue Ridge tanks as they've got a goal back. It was scored by Austin Belfay and a really good assist from McHugh. Matchenko with a shot. Lavalier was able to watch it the whole way, and this time a tight angle effort right into the glove of the French Canadian. 8 minutes gone in the third. Rock Lobsters will make some changes, as will the Bobcats. William Lavalier fresh off getting double digits in wins on Friday, his 10th of the season. 22 saves on 23 shots. He's made 24 on 25 tonight. Here comes Kason Gallant. Will he sniff a hat trick in this game? Johnson around the net. Johnson turn around. Gallant from the slot. Deflected out wide. Russell to Kolatarsi. One-timer gets blocked there by Jakob Wolf. Wolf trying to create a 2-on-1, flips it towards the top shelf himself, but misses by some way. Whistled all the way around for Gallant. Back for Virgili. Plays it with a skate. Has it back in his good graces. Glukarioff makes a step up, slapped away by Virgili. Gallant looking to return the favor towards the Swede. Russell breezes through the pressure from Wolf. Glukarioff from long range! Oh my God! The Russian rocket with a sniper puts on the scope and sends one to the top shelf. Rock Lobsters had the touchdown. They kicked the extra point to make it 7. So now it becomes a hat trick race, and let's look at how it happened. Gallant already on 2. It all the way comes back for Glukarioff, who is able to cast a spell on it, just sends one, and something must have got in the way of Shrum from seeing that cleanly as it tickles the twine right under the bar. And what was already a difficult task becomes even more difficult for the Bobcats. They would love to, at this point, probably just be back on the bus. And let's hope that they don't get more and more angry and try to continue to wipe out some of our players. Lofted ahead by the Bobcats. Shinkarik will chase. And it reaches the goal line for an icing. Clock will stop with 10:35 to go. A tough night to be a Blue Ridge goaltender. Hussey gave up 5. And the Rock Lobsters were keen to try and make the night difficult for Hussey because he is the first goaltender this year to keep a shutout against the Rock Lobsters. In fact, only 2 shutouts against the Rock Lobsters this year, and both have been inflicted on Athens by Blue Ridge. Glukarioff here in the trapezoid. He's on the hunt for the hat trick, as is Kason Gallant. Could we see double hats here tonight? Be interesting to see. Glukarioff pokes it back to his blue line, picked up by Milan. Milan out to the right. Weisblatt, evasive, back to Super Milan. Super Milan, he might want to get out on the scoring action himself. Back to Shinkarik. To the right, Garcia rips one. Weisblatt looking for the tip, but he, with a check, is able to keep the puck in Rock Lobster possession. Shinkarik shifts it to Glukarioff. Shinkarik with a U-turn. Over to the line, has 2 on him, 3 on him. Lofts it into the corner. Weisblatt spins off the pressure and then brings down his man with a beautiful effort with a stick. Makes Matthew Ernst look a little silly there. Glukaryov, Garcia. Garcia shoots wide. He has a one-timer this time over the bar. All the way out for Shinkarik. Shinkarik with some freedom with the puck, and that gives the Rock Lobsters freedom to make some changes. Gallant on, rather Alden on with Smith and Picard. Papa Petros lets a Bobcat get through, but plenty of other Rock Lobsters there to make sure they put some water from the tank on the fire. Smith gets wiped out there by Slagers. Mercurio with a left circle shot. Wide of the mark. Can't hit the target. Alden gets it out. Picard chases. Radchenko gets it up the right side. On the blade of the stick of Daly. Picard, easy takeaway for him. And then Alden, banker towards the direction of Virgili. Volotarsi was looking for Gallant. Takes a piece of the skate of Slagers into the corner. Gallant ties him up. A perfectly played game thus far by Case and Gallant. Virgili has the stick ripped out of his hands. Waves a finger at the linesman for missing it. Gallant was hoping that one would bounce for him. Instead, it bounces for Stuckless. One-time pass. Klenecki out to the right for Wolf. Centering pass. Stuckless might have a second bite of the cherry. Spills out towards the end boards off of the pads of Lavalier. Johnson poked it ahead for himself, but gets impeded by the body check. Bobcats through Belfay. He's scored the lone Bobcat goal in a beautiful centering effort towards the Blue Ridge native Norwinski. Wolf sends a spear there into the pad of Lavalier. Rock Lobsters lead 7-1. They've scored a touchdown and an extra point. We go to a commercial break. Can they add on more on their foray towards double digits?
Every business owner who's built a business wonders about their company's legacy. What's the path forward after they decide to take a step back? At the heart of every succession plan is a vision that safeguards hard-earned success. This isn't just paperwork. It's your roadmap, guiding a business during a change in ownership and detailing how ownership transitions and key financial decisions unfold. This instills a profound sense of pride, belonging, innovation, and commitment, ensuring a stable future for the company and a rewarding exit for you. Let's forge that path together.
When you're the leader, disaster cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen?
Fire it up, Randy!
By being prepared for anything! Whatever comes your way, there's a pro for that.
Serve pro, like it never even happened.
Right now, the Rock Lobsters are taking a win hot to go here at Akins Ford Arena. It's felt like a lucky night for everyone who's gotten to be a part of it. The fans here, us as a part of the staff, and of course the players. And who knows who will get luckier tonight, Gallant or Glukaryov. The two men that have G's starting their surnames are both on the hunt to send hats out onto the ice. Gallant also on the hunt for the first star tonight. 2 goals and 2 assists for him in this game. And that's despite the fact that he had to leave the ice early in the second period after taking, I believe, a knee or a stick to the face late on. Here he is again. Here he is again. Enters on the left side. Gallant gets to the left circle. Flips a backhand over the bar on Schrum. Oja on the left side of the line. Centering effort. Johnson got a piece of it, but once again goes wide. Johnson lets it run. It's going to be Belfay, who picks it back up for Blue Ridge. Shinkarik over to Johnson. Backhand sweep from Johnson towards the logo. Intercepted there by Belfay. Belfay might be the only Bobcat who can hold his head up high on this one, and Lavalier had to hold his head up high, and I think it's his bucket that got a piece of that shot from Belfay. Belfay, the only goal in this contest that belongs to the Blue Ridge Bobcats. Trying to fight through a bunch of poke checks and defensive plays with a stick was Daly. Rock Lobsters send it back in, but in front of the red line, and it's going to go down as an icing. Slight freeze there of our camera system, but we're back and feeling good. Athens leads 7-1. They've converted on 7 of their 37 shots. Papa Petros around. Garcia ahead toward Glukarioff. Almost fell for Milan. Andrioli unable to settle that puck at the line. Glukarioff just eases it back for Weisblatt. Rock Lobsters have a chance to kind of sit back here, and it's been a hard-played game through the first nearly 55 minutes of this contest. And Athens hoping to just get out of this one healthy at this point. Glukarioff to Weisblatt. One-touch pass to Milan. Milan trying to get it through the skates of Slagers towards Glukarioff, knowing that the Russian is on a hat trick. Wolf deflected on the left side for Andrioli. Glukarioff gets a poke in on him. Milan waves at it. Andrioli with a shot. Another pad save from Lavalier. And that is save number 29 on the night. Russell takes it out from behind his own net. Finds Kolatarsi to the left. Looks like we're stopping play here for a hand pass. Rock Lobsters dominating this one 7-1. We go to a commercial break. Let's see how the last 5 minutes of this one goes.
When you're the leader, disaster cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen?
Fire it up, Randy! By being prepared for anything!
Whatever comes your way, there's a pro for that.
Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
Classic City Flats is a brand new apartment community in Athens, Georgia that redefines luxury living, offering a sleek and contemporary living experience. Our impeccably designed apartment homes boast sophisticated interiors, premium amenities, and exquisite finishes, providing residents with an unparalleled downtown living experience. Classic City Flats is excited to deliver luxury apartments that set the new standard of sophisticated living in Athens, Georgia. Classic City Flats, redefining your horizon of living. Crustacean Nation, now is the time. Season tickets for the upcoming Rock Lobsters season are officially on sale. Lock in your seat and be part of every hard-hitting, goal-scoring, crowd-roaring moment right here in the tank, Akins Ford Arena. Don't miss your chance to experience the energy, the excitement, and the best hockey in town all season long. Go back and scan the QR code on your screen now to secure your tickets and join the Rock Lobsters family today. Alden centering backhand. Russell rips a slapper from the far boards. Goes all the way around for Kolatarsi. Picard, and out in front of his bench, gets it swept through him. Wolf with a U-turn. Kolatarsi read it the whole way. Kolatarsi will make a change after dumping it in. Smith chased it down. Stuckless, unable to get past Malik Johnson. Adam Oja Not a lot of pressure on him. Left of the left circle, finds Smith at the line. Rips a shot, deflects down off of Norwinski. And the Bobcats attempt to take it the other way. Shinkarik trying to get on Belfay here. Centering pass, McHugh misses, and not by much. Centering pass, McHugh waiting for that one. On the prowl after his assist was converted by Belfay earlier on, but it remains a 7-1 game. Is it going to happen for either Glukaryov or Gallant in this game? They're both on the hunt for the hat trick. Of course, the result seems all but settled at this point, as the Rock Lobsters will eclipse 100 points on the season with a win tonight. Linesman had to dodge that one. Johnson getting in behind Ernst. Bobcats able to play the puck from their own half. Right back towards Belfay. Gallant gets it out, took a hit for his efforts. Virgili unable to keep it away from McHugh, who takes it away from him and sends it into his own zone for the Bobcats to try and get that train rolling down the tracks. Vlasov. Virgili. Johnson gets a piece of his glove, and then Johnson takes it to the left, over the line. Johnson with a pad save from Schrum. Was a 2-on-1 there with Weisblatt on the other side. Slagers with a whiff, and then Weisblatt with a one-touch pass to Milan. Milan returns the favor. Weisblatt took it wide of Schrum. All he needed was a little bit of height on that one, and it was going past the rookie goaltender. No icing here against the Bobcats. Shinkarik to Glukaryov. Weisblatt. Glukaryov didn't get any mustard on that pass. It still fell for Kolatarsi. Kola already has a goal in this one. That time it was a pad save for the new Blue Ridge goaltender, Schrum. Schrum just guides it to the right for Ernst. The Orlando, Florida native in behind the Blue Ridge net. Better here from the Bobcats. Nicholas Stuckless trying to get stuck in here, trying to go forehand on Lavalier. That one deflects out of play. 1:22 to go. Not going to be an easy hat trick for either Gallant or Glukaryov. Feels doubtful at this point that the Bobcats will empty the net. You wonder how much the Bobcats playing without their head coach has a part to play in this, and it's hard to say. Of course, Volchtek Zemleka was issued a suspension for those actions between the Bobcats and the Binghamton Black Bears just a week ago. Alden has one spill off him. Gallant almost takes it through on Colgan. Belfay has scored one in this one, loses an edge, and the Rock Lobsters take it the other way. Gallant down to a sprawl to try and get there. Alden stops it at the red line. Belfay takes it off of him. Firmly in the last minute of play here. Good move towards the net from McHugh, but the Rock Lobsters sweep it away. Stopped at the blue line. The Bobcats trying to find something to be happy about as they get ready for their bus trip back to Virginia. Alden stops it. Kaysen Gallant has a free trip to the net. Gallant looking for the hat trick. Pad save from Schrum. There's not much more you could celebrate about this game, but Gallant would have brought the hats out onto the ice and given it that extra layer, that cherry on top. The Rock Lobsters, though, will be very, very happy, and so will this Crustacean Nation crowd as the final seconds of this game drip off the clock in a big-time win for the Rock Lobsters as they lay the touchdown, the smackdown, and the extra point on the Blue Ridge Bobcats. With this win, the Rock Lobsters get to within 3 points of the Carolina Thunderbirds in their hunt for the top spot in the Continental Division. They move to 101 points in comparison to the Thunderbirds' 104 with a game at hand. If the season ends with the Rock Lobsters and the Thunderbirds tied on points, the advantage would go to Athens as they have a 2-1 head-to-head record against the team from Winston-Salem. It feels like it's going to take a long time to try and recap how this one went down. Let's just give you the goal scorers. In the first period, Philip Virgili and Joe Colatarsi. Then in the opening seconds of the second, the Rock Lobsters start on the Paloma Park power play, and Kaysen Gallant gets yet another power play goal. More on that later. The second period is finished off with goals from Daniil Glukariev and Carter Shinkarik. Then in the third period, Kaysen Gallant with yet another power play goal, and that puts him with 14 on the year and firmly in the lead among FPHL skaters in power play goals. Belfay was able to scratch one back on a good feed from Nicholas McHugh, but Daniil Glukariev, as if there was any predilections on what was going to happen in this game, firmly put it to bed with the 7th goal of the night for Athens. Claudius making sure his home ice is good, checking out on that net. It was a busy net for sure here at Akins Ford Arena. 7 goals scored against Blue Ridge among 2 goaltenders, and now what's left is to decide who gets the 23 Design 3 Stars of the night. They've just been sent to me, and we'll keep you updated. Rock Lobsters with a big win and a big week ahead as well. Make sure you secure your tickets for this upcoming midweek series against the Monroe Moccasins Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday against one of the fiercest rivals for Athens this season. All games drop the puck at 7:05. It's time for the 23 Design 3 Stars of the night. Third star of the game goes to the French-Canadian in between the sticks who made 31 saves. It's William Lavalier. Win number 11 on the season for him. He may be on his 3rd team of the season, but he's made Athens his home. 4 assists. Malik Johnson was at the center of everything. He was right at the middle, and Malik's the middle star of the night. We talked about Virgili coming back from his suspension, firing on all cylinders. Ever since Johnson has served his 1-game suspension, he's looked like a heck of a player as well. But there was really only one man you could point to, and that's the Red Deer Rocket. First star performance for him, 2 goals and 2 assists. He is the first star of the night, but it was a night with many stars in the sky here at Akins Ford Arena. What a night for everyone in attendance, for all the players on the ice, and for me who had the unique opportunity and honor to call this game that was played right underneath us. Rock Lobsters move to 101 points. That is their 36th win of the season. Their record moves to 36-7-3, looking for the top spot in the Continental Division. There was only one other game played in the FPHL tonight. That was between the Dashers and the Mississippi Seawolves. Unfortunately, that losing streak for the Dashers has not yet come to an end. A big win for the Mississippi Seawolves, who have already been eliminated in the playoff picture in the Continental Division. 2 teams have clinched in the Continental, Carolina, and then on Friday, the Rock Lobsters were able to secure a spot in the Continental Cup playoffs with that 4-1 win against the Blue Ridge Bobcats. The Rock Lobsters move on to that midweek series against the Monroe Moccasins. If you haven't already, secure your tickets right here, right now. The Rock Lobsters against Monroe, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. All games dropping the puck at 7:05. Ladies and gentlemen, I love you. I love all you little lobsters. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Matty and Rad, and it has been a tremendous night here at Akins Ford Arena. The Rock Lobsters smash the Bears, send them back, rather the Bobcats, send them back to hibernation and defeat them 7-1. We'll see you next time, Tuesday